Since 2015, it's been our pleasure entertaining you. From brass commentary, controversial interviews, and sexy cave crushes, we have given you our all. We've seen other shows come and watched them go. But Inside the Cave is still here. Inside the Cave. Thought-provoking ignorance. Guaranteed. Thought-provoking ignorance. The best blend of hip-hop and R&B with special guests and Cave Crush interviews. Inside the Cave is now on Indie Central Radio. You're about to go inside the cave. The cave. Inside the cave.
Let's do it, yo.
Then it's on.
Okay, here we go. Welcome back Inside the Cave podcast, and Inside the Cave on Indie Central Radio. Happy holidays to everybody, and we have a show for you while everybody else is taking the holiday off. We are still here. I am CB at I'm the Real CB, and the Southern baby Big Dawg is in the building.
What's up with it, man?
Ladies, let's talk about it. Tell the truth with Sly.
What's up, Mr. Tell the Truth, everybody? Happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving.
And the lovely, the talented, beautiful Cat.
Gobble, gobble, everybody.
By the way, Cat thinks she's slick. She invites people over that she know ain't gonna come over. Back in the day, I would have just popped up on your ass. But she invite people over that she know ain't gonna come over. So that's real slick. I like that in you. But back in the day, I would have just popped up on your ass.
Don't back in the day. Don't talk about it. Be about it, baby. If you coming to get some food, you better say something, because I'm on a budget in this bitch. I'm going per mouth.
You invited us though. You invited us. I should have just pop up over there with my whole crew. You know,
I definitely would love to do an Inside the Cave Christmas party. I really would love to have that at my home.
No, okay. I'm just telling you.
That's
she
cool.
invited us over. Back in the day, I would have just popped up on your ass, just been there just with everybody, ready to eat.
Spades and dominoes at Cat House.
Hell yeah, you better tell her, dog. You better tell her, quit fucking around inviting me if she don't mean it. She'll fuck around and I had nothing left.
I already told Cat what I'm showing up with.
Don't tell me what you not going to bring. You better come with some in your damn head.
I'm coming with what I told you. I'm coming with
feet at the door. Shit, you got to bring.
Hey, Cat, CB showed up at my house with some goddamn dollar store waters.
I went to Walmart. That's not true. That is not true. I went to Walmart. And all water is good water anyway. Okay, listen.
The water ain't had no name brand on. I don't know what that shit. Just water on it.
It all went down the same. And plus, you got 2 refrigerators full of water anyway.
This nigga brought water.
You being thoughtful.
Shit, that shit said water. He said bring water. It said water.
You ain't want to upgrade it to ice or nothing. You just run some water.
H2O on the front, goddamn.
You want to upgrade the 2 bags of ice, huh?
CB? It was a black and white label. It didn't have no colors or nothing, no logo.
None of that. Cheap as possible.
Hey, I tell you what, we have a great show today. I'm telling you right now. With us the whole show, the whole podcast, the whole radio show is Cherie Johnson. I've been talking about it for the past 2 weeks. This great interview she's calling in. I'm telling you the stuff that we're going to talk about. You all are going to be so surprised by this. She's more than just Punky Brewster and Family Matters. When y'all, it's going to be some people upset about this. Matter of fact, I had to actually do some real journalist work, and I called some people in R. Kelly's camp. I shouldn't say it. This is called a tease in radio, a tease, just to vouch. And yeah, this is a great interview y'all are going to hear. So we got Cherie Johnson coming on pretty soon. The other thing is too, I wanted everybody here, but okay. W2s. This is what we're gonna start doing. And no, seriously.
This must be the comedy segment.
Segment. Inside the Cave is
going. Should I get the attorney on first?
Inside the Cave is coming to Patreon. In the next couple weeks, you can go to patreon.com/Inside the Cave, and you will be able to see never before seen clips of Inside the Cave and even occasional stuff that we do while we record. You'll be able to see us while we record this show. I talked it over with Dawg, and he didn't agree with it, but then I thought about it. I said, one time we went live on Facebook. So people liked it. I got some comments about it before, so I was like, hey, you got to pay for it, though. On Patreon, in order to see the stuff, you got to pay for it. I'm going to give you guys the original Maya interview, just like it was before Roland put his touches on it. All that kind of stuff will be on patreon.com. Other never before seen clips, interviews, and everything will be on patreon.com. And if you buy a shirt on cavecrushshop.com, from now on, if you subscribe to us on Patreon, one of us will call you directly to say thank you. Yes, that's what's going to be happening on Patreon. It's going to be a lot of more stuff. So subscribe to the show, listen to Patreon, go on there on Patreon. Coming soon, you'll be able to get special clips from inside the cave on patreon.com. But you got to pay for it. Everybody always asks, how can I support the show? How can I keep this going? Not only can you support the show by buying stuff from cavecrushshop.com, you can also go to patreon.com/inside-the-cave in about a couple weeks, and you'll be able to get stuff that you never heard or seen before, and we'll be updating it every week. So, and eventually you'll be able to get the show first on patreon.com. You got to pay for it, though. You got to pay for it. Different things. You'll get it, but you'll get it raw. You'll get the show raw, exactly how it's done. So other shows do it, so I'm like, why not us? So that's that.
What you're telling me is I'm gonna have to wear my good bonnet when we record now.
Well, I'm not. Well, yeah. Oh, by the way, speaking of bonnets, Big Dawg, I forgot to put that in the comments a couple weeks ago. A girl wants to know. She wants to remain. Her name's Trisha. Remind me to edit that out. She said she don't want to put in the show. But anyway, she asked, "Are these cat bonnets for real?" Because she said she would buy one. I said that's a Big Dawg question.
I'm working on it, man. I got to see what's available.
Okay, well, she sure asked. She asked that a couple weeks ago.
How the fuck you gonna ask him? I can sew her a bonnet together right now. If she want a damn bonnet, I can make her a bonnet.
Well, make a bonnet. She'll pay for it.
Why don't you put some inside the cave fabric and I can make some bonnets?
All right,
But look, Cat superpowers come out when she put that bonnet on and she start cooking. So if the chick can't cook, she can't get no bonnet.
I can't deal with you.
Now, everybody listening on Indie Central Radio, I think on Thanksgiving and on Black Friday, we're giving you the best, our favorite songs from soundtracks today. So in between the interview, we'll be playing songs from soundtracks. Now, I gotta tell you, other than the country rap tune, that's all Big Dawg. We're not allowed on this show to touch the country rap tune. Although if I keep coming up with better songs in the country rap tune, we're gonna get rid of Big Dawg and it's gonna be CB's country rap tune. But that's a story.
Eyes ain't in the tail.
But anyway, the rest of the day is going to be songs from the soundtracks, from our favorite soundtracks and all that. All right. So we have a big show today, but the interviews all me. So I wanted to make sure I bring the crew in just to give you, cause I know a lot of people just want to hear from the crew. So this is going to start the show off just like this. You know you too old to be thuggin' when. You know you too old to be thuggin' when. You know you too old to be thuggin' when. Holidays, a lot of people going to be going home. You're going to be seeing people you ain't seen in a while, a lot of your family. I got too many family and friends that's my age and older that's still out there. And it's time to set the record straight. You know you too old to be thuggin' when Sly.
Shit, this is a good one.
You fucked me up with that one, Sly.
Yeah, like
When you got a cane to match your outfit.
Exactly. If you
When you gotta look past your AARP card to get to your savings card at the grocery store.
You know you too old to be thuggin' when.
You ask if they got a senior discount at the liquor store.
Yeah. That's a good one. You know you too old to be thuggin' when all of your friends who you used to be thugging with have all either died or retired and living family lives, and you still out there on the block. If all your friends have,
that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
If you the last one standing on the block,
when you trying to get hooked up with your granddaughter friends,
it's time for you to stop thugging, man. It's so time for you to stop thugging.
You know you too old to be thugging when you stand up and you got to stand still for a second before you take a step because your fucking knees hurt. But you still on the block.
Still on the block. Hey.
when your ass nodding on the block because you so damn tired, because you trying to kick it too damn late, you sleep your shit, yawning, eyes watering, while you trying to chill on the block.
When it's time to go out with the fellas, and you say you about to go out, and your lady say, "Oh no, you not," and you be like, "Okay, it's time for you to stop thugging."
It's time for you to stop thugging when you start taking naps in the midday.
It's too old. You too old. What is it? You know you too old to be thugging when your 2018 outfit match your 1998 outfit.
Oh yeah.
So you got some brand new old shit on.
Oh shit! You got the receding braids.
Or you still wearing cornrows with beads in the back. You still got a shag haircut.
If we can still see your chest hair.
Oh man, y'all wrong.
Nigga, you too old to be thugging. If before you fight, you got cardboard. You gotta lay out cardboard to battle the motherfucker. You too old. You too old, G. You too old.
You gonna fuck him up after your doctor's appointment, ain't you? You gonna fuck him up after your doctor's appointment. Let's run to the doctor real quick.
Hold on.
Hey, I got a good one for you, CG.
Go ahead.
You know you too old to be thugging when you got to use hair fibers to fill in your lineup.
Hey, here you go. This is how you know you too old to be thugging. Now, you got to go meet the connect because you got to re-up, right? You got to go meet the connect and re-up. But on your way to meet the connect and re-up, you say, "Hey, I got to stop at the ATM." If you got to stop at the ATM, hold on. Wait a minute. You got to stop at the ATM, man. It's time for you to quit thugging, man. If you say you got dialysis today, it's time for you to stop thugging, man. Any motherfucker that got dialysis, and I know these people. I know some. Man, I knew a guy that told me. I was like, man, I told this guy I was at the club, and I said, man, I got a kidney stone, man. I shouldn't even be here. He said, man, I'm fucked up too. I got cancer and all type of shit, but I don't even give a fuck. I'm still out here. Man told me that shit. I was like, man,
you too old to be thugging. If you got spinners on your wheelchair, you might be too old. Yeah, you too old to be thugging if you still riding around with a Schwinn with stretchers and a double cassette radio on the handlebars.
Hey, here you go.
Hey, you too old to be thugging when your kids got kids.
Yeah.
Like you gotta get home before your program starts.
Right.
You don't go to the movies, you go see a picture.
So the picture.
They gonna go see a picture.
You know you too.
I don't wanna go see no damn picture. I wanna go to the movie.
You know you too old to be thugging when you put on some black Timbs, some black jeans, a black sweatshirt, black hoodie, a black skull cap. But underneath all that, you got suspenders on. It's time for you to stop thugging. You gotta wear suspenders with all your thug gear. It's a wrap, bro. Go
Sound
ahead.
like you're speaking from experience. Hey, Sly. How CB showed up to your party?
Like he was too old.
I quit.
Hey, you just had a grown folks party. CB came in that motherfucker with some sweatpants on.
Yeah, you won.
You might be too old if you need to put your glasses on before you look through the scope of the rifle.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about how that's so annoying to see an older individual with a cell phone and how they got to move it 160 angles in order to get it right, to see right. You try to show them a meme and they got to move your hand back because they can't see them old people back. My mama will hold her shit probably 19 inches away from her damn face 1 minute, 40 feet away the next.
That's me.
Like, it ain't even that serious, mama. You ain't gotta laugh that hard. It's all right.
That's me.
You might be too old to be thugging if your pants are sagging and you over 60 and you not wearing the pins.
If you still wearing a jersey, like don't wear no jersey. That let us know how old you are for real. Don't wear no jersey unless you hooping.
Right.
Tucking your jersey inside your pants.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You can see the belt in the jersey now.
The belt in the jersey.
If you still take pictures with your arms crossed.
Or you don't smile in the picture. That's the picture of the prison picture, baby. It's all right.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
if you wearing sweatpants, if you wearing gym shorts with church socks.
Oh shit.
Oh man. Oh, that's fun, man. All right, so we got Cherie Johnson coming up right after this. Cool. Here we go. Welcome back to Inside the Cave podcast, and now Inside the Cave on the Indie Central Radio app. One of the cool things about hosting a radio show and podcast, you get to talk to people who you never thought you would get a chance to talk to, people who you watched and grew up on and everything. And today I get to do that once again, and I'm honored to have her as a guest. I guess it's like a cave crush once again. So welcome to Inside the Cave. You all remember her from the hit 80s show Punky Brewster, and also most notably from Family Matters, playing Maxine. That's when I really had a crush on her. Welcome to Inside the Cave, Miss Cherie Johnson.
Oh, thank you so much for having me and for such a nice, warm welcome.
All right, first of all, shout out to your parents, because the name Cherie, how did you get the name Cherie?
I'm from a small town in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania called Duquesne, and I'm from the hood. There's a fruit in every hood. I just so happen to be the fruit in mine.
Really? Okay. So it was just something simple as that, huh?
Every time you ask my mother, it's a totally different story. One time she'll say, well, the first time I had sex, they popped my cherry and here you came. Then she tells us, that's what happens when you have a really young mother. Then she comes out and she says, well, I was eating a cherry lifesaver when you were born. So the story is forever changing. I just go with there's a fruit in every hood and I happen to be the one in mine.
That's interesting. Because I was like, I was wondering, I was actually kind of thinking that, like, just got to be something behind that name. But all right, either way it goes, it fits you perfectly, though.
The real talk, my mama ghetto. That's what's behind it.
No, because I'm thinking, someone say your name Cherie, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I can believe it. It's not like my name is Courtney, and like my wife always says, you don't seem like a Courtney. I don't understand how your mom named you Courtney. So like you should be named something else. But like your name is Cherie, and I'm thinking like, you know what? It does fit you though. So
yeah, I can't imagine being named anything else.
Yeah. All right. So you have a career that spans over 30 years.
Thank God. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the first time I remember seeing you was on Punky Brewster. And I don't know if people really realize like what type of show that was. Like you guys was like setting trends. Like I remember like the headbands and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? So like, what was that experience like just even being on, first of all, how'd that show even like come? Like, how'd you even get that part?
Well, it was a fluke. It was not supposed to be my part. My uncle actually wrote the show, and he thought it'd be cute to use my name because when you have a girl named Punky, The only thing you could put next to her is some other weird name, like Cherie. And he used my name and he sold the show to NBC. He gave me the script and told me to read it. I was 6 years old. I didn't get it. So I said, okay, so when do I go to work? And he was like, oh, it's not for you to do. It's just your name. And my aunt ended up sneaking me on an audition. One audition turned into 7. They audition little girls in Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago, and I happened to show up everywhere they auditioned. And I auditioned too. And finally, the president of NBC said, dude, give your niece the job.
Wait. You say your uncle created the show? Who's your uncle?
Yes. My uncle's name is David Duclon. He is known for doing shows like The Odd Couple, Laverne and Shirley, The Jeffersons, Mork and Mindy, Silver Spoons, and then Family Matters, and Punky Brewster, and Malcolm and Eddie. Anything black on TV, my uncle did. But my
That's
uncle's
your
not black.
uncle?
Yes.
Wow. I'm looking at it right. I'm like, that's amazing. I wasn't expecting to hear all this.
No, especially if you see my uncle, he's blonde hair, blue eyes, so you wouldn't necessarily tie us together. But a lot of people think he's my father, but he's actually my uncle.
That is amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was behind. You said basically anything that was black on TV. That was him.
Yes. That's all the greats. I hate to say it, but like Happy Days, like all the great shows that lasted forever, a lot of them were my uncles.
Jeez, man, you like really threw me off with this because like I had no idea. I really had no idea. This is crazy.
And that's why I produce stuff today, because I kind of like, Daddy retired. Even though he's my uncle, a lot of people call him my dad.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, how's your dad? So Daddy retired and he handed me the business. So I took over the family business.
This is dope. All right. So, all right. Now I got to get a little bit off track from what I was really going. So he actually just wrote the show, Punky Brewster, and you were like an inspiration. Your name was an inspiration. You were not the character.
Not the character, no, but he did take some things from my own life and put it in the script. I'm not like an orphan or anything like that, but my mother, her name is Miss Johnson, naturally, and she's a nurse. So he gave that to my grandmother. So little things were taken here and there, but if you watch his shows, a lot of his life and our family's life lived on TV. Like the Jeffersons, the interracial couple who lived next door. That's him and my aunt.
Okay. This is, wow, I was not expecting to get all this in this interview. This is crazy. This is crazy. Wow. All right. Let me get back into this. All right. Well,
sorry.
No, this is dope. Like I had no idea. All right. So what was your relationship with, I'm sure we're gonna have some more questions about your uncle, but what was your relationship like with Punky? When did you like meet her? I think her real name is Soleil. Is that how you say it?
Yes, it's Soleil. Okay. Soleil and I actually met at one of the auditions, and then we actually had an audition together. Our last audition before both of us were given the part was to play dress up. They put like a trunk of clothes in the middle of the room and told us to play. And so 2 little kids, we started dressing ourselves up, and then we started dressing up each other. And we had seen each other, like a few times when we had come in. So we had already gotten friendly in the waiting room. She was a little shy and quiet, but she ended up being my best friend. You put 2 little girls together, one or two things is going to happen. Either they're going to love each other or they're going to hate each other. Right. And we loved each other, and we hated being apart. So it was like on the weekends, either she was at my house or I was at her house.
And you started that show when you were how old? If you don't mind me asking.
I was 6 years old.
Wow. So we actually watched you grow up on that. That's amazing. Cause
literally.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. And she was like the same age too?
Yes. I think she was 5 when the show started.
So with your uncle actually like being, HNIC, or maybe that's not the right word, but being the top dog, right? I'm sure
He'll take it.
Yeah, your business affairs was probably more taken care of or more aligned than most people starting into the business, if you know what I mean, right?
You know what? I can honestly say that we came in the business at a really good time because Coogan laws kicked in. So parents couldn't spend money like they had done to the children prior, than us. So like the kids that did the younger shows like the Brady Bunch and Happy Days and stuff, there were no Coogan laws to protect them. So a portion of our money had to go into trust. So all of us, once you started like 84 and up, we're all pretty well taken care of because there were laws in place to protect us. Plus my mom, she wasn't that kind of person. Like I remember being in high school, literally my mom would give you $20 to go to the movies with her friends and she wanted her change.
Yeah, okay. So that's right. So that's good. I didn't know that. So like, but he said 84, but okay, so I think Different Strokes ended like in 87 or something like that. So that's why those kids probably didn't end up as well. I think that show started like in 78 or 79 or something like that.
And then you also have to think they had a big cast. So their budgets weren't as big, and it was a lot of people that they had to spend the money upon. So I don't know how much money they were getting paid then too.
Okay. Yeah,
because when you have the bigger the cast is, the least money the cast has to share, basically.
Right.
So they had a large cast. We really didn't. It was Margot, Alan, sometimes Punky, her dad, and my grandma and me, and the dog.
Right. And I saw TK Carter. I remember him being in that too.
Yes, TK. Okay, so TK is the love of my life. He's like my uncle. Okay. And I still have that same relationship with TK. Knows every man I've ever dated. He caught me out on most dates I've ever been on. Really? And he was actually one of the first people to know when I got pregnant. Yeah, I love me some TK.
Yeah, man. I remember him from like everything. And he was like on a lot of shows people probably don't even remember. Like he was on the original Saved by the Bell at one point.
Oh yeah. TK has done everything and still works like crazy. And he was in the Bobby Brown story.
That's right. He played Bobby's dad. That's right.
Yes. TK is the truth and one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life.
Damn, man. This is so awesome talking with you, man. All right, this is cool. Now, Soleil's dad in the show, I guess that's George Gaines, right?
Yes, George Gaines. It was her adopted father.
Is he still alive right now?
No, he passed away a couple of years ago.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but he lived a grateful life.
Yeah, I just remember. What was his name in the show? You remember?
Henry.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. As a matter of fact, when you say it, it makes me remember it like that. And I just remember he had like just a familiar face. It was like just it seemed like somebody we all could relate to. You know what I mean? It's just I remember the show so good.
He's a phenomenal man. I really wanted to be an architect. I never thought I was going to grow up and be an actor. So George would I'm an East Coast girl, so East Coast is different than the West Coast when it comes to architecture. And I'm sorry, but California is kind of like architecturally anorexic. So George would take these wonderful European vacations and bring me books of like the buildings and architecture from around the world. I have a great library now that was still given to me from him, all on architecture. So he lived until he was 98 years old. The man had an awesome life.
Nice. 98. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. And you know what? I always thought, I don't know, I guess I didn't pay that much attention to the scenery back then, but I always thought that show was based in New York, but it's actually based out of Chicago, huh?
It was supposed to be based out of Chicago, but we actually shot in Burbank, California.
Oh, okay. But was it like, were you guys living in New York or living in Chicago?
We lived in California, baby. We shot in Burbank, California.
No, I'm talking
on the
about
soundstage.
the set. Was the set?
Oh, this show was supposed to take place in Chicago.
Okay. Gotcha.
But our actual set was at NBC in Burbank, California.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So being on that show, like did you guys have like someone that picked out the clothes, or did you guys like kind of have your own say on that?
We had a wardrobe stylist, but he let us bring a lot of our own flair. Well, at least me. Because the part was kind of written around me. The joke about the headband thing is I started wearing a headband. My kindergarten picture, my mom was like, where did that headband come from? And not the uncle who wrote the show, but my other uncle, my crazy Uncle Tyrone, used to have this feather thing that I put around my head. And my mom was like, you got a roach clip on your head in your kindergarten picture? So my headband actually was a roach clip.
Oh, wow.
And my Uncle David just thought it was funny because it was something that I used to wear around all the time. So the character wore a headband. And then I got to wear 2 different size earrings because even now I lose one earring all the time. Doesn't matter what. I lost an earring today. No joke.
Wow.
So as a kid, I used to be like, I don't care if they're different size hoops, just give them to me. And then it became a thing that I never had the same earrings on, but it was really because I used to lose them.
This is awesome, man. I always love hearing like the behind the scenes stories and stuff about stuff. This is cool. So like, because I'm looking at like a picture of you right now. This is so 1980s.
Oh, Jean Doucette was our wardrobe stylist, one of the greatest men I've ever met in my life.
Okay. Jean Doucette. Now, what about the lady who played your mom?
Yes, Miss Susie Garrett.
Mm-hmm. Is she still alive now?
No, we lost Susie to cancer. God, I don't even, maybe 6 years ago.
Wow. Okay, so it was recent.
I don't even remember how long ago it was, but that one hits me hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, she died way longer than that. She died in 2002. I guess I'm still in denial. I just cried about her literally like 2 months ago. Hard cry.
So did you? So because like it lasted 4 seasons and you all went your own ways and everything. But so did you guys like stay in touch after the show was over with?
Absolutely. I just talked to Susie's son probably 2 weeks ago. We were family.
Yeah.
We're still family. I should say we are family.
The thing is, like that show, I mean, it was only for 4 seasons, but I mean, like, you can't name a kid that was born in the 80s that didn't like have something to do with it, who couldn't relate to that.
Literally, I had my daughter, and probably 3 or 4 hours after she was born, Amy Foster, the one that played Margot Kramer, her and her family showed up at the hospital to see my little girl. So we're still family.
That's dope. What was your what's your best memory from being on that show?
Oh gosh, there's so many. I think my best memory, like personally, when it's just about Punky Brewster, was the anniversary episode, the show where my parents died. Oh. We used to shoot 2 shows a day, and my uncle came up to me before the first show and he said, "Hey kiddo, if you cry, I'll give you $20. And I was like, for real? That was a lot of money to me back then. Mind you, I was a kid. I didn't realize I was getting paid in real life.
Right.
So $20, I was like, I'm all for it. Second show, he walks up to me. He said, you did a really good job first time, kiddo. If you can bring the tears like that again, I'll give you $20 more and take you to 7-Eleven. Man, I was like, I got this. I cried my little heart out. I went to 7-Eleven and got me a Slurpee, a Twinkie, and a bunch of little jelly bracelets and was the happiest kid in the world.
So that show ended up spinning off to like a cartoon or something? I didn't even know this part. It was like It's Punky Brewster, and you actually was they used your voice for that. What was that like?
Yes. It was fun. I mean, usually, like, while we were in the middle of doing Punky, they would give us a couple hours break and we would run to another studio and record our voiceovers. So we were still all together. So it was like sitting in the recording studio, you know, in a booth with my friends, and we're just reading our lines.
You know, I got little ones that's like doing some acting right now, and I couldn't. Right now, they're like extras. One of them actually has a chance to hopefully be part of the main cast maybe next season on The Shy, but I can't imagine them memorizing lines. What was that like when they how did you? What was the process for you being a kid memorizing lines?
It was so much easier then than it is now. Like, once I had a baby, I don't know what happens to your memory, but like, mom brain is real. So it's so much harder I used to read my lines once or twice and I knew the whole script. Now I actually have to study.
Was it like improv, or was it really line by line you memorized?
It was line by line.
Wow.
You learn the scene. So, you know, if you have a conversation over and over and over again, you're going to know that conversation verbatim.
Yeah.
But, you know, kids' memories are sharp, boy.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the show was so believable. So it's like, you know, now just talking with you and then thinking back, it's like, man, you know, you were a kid. Like, couldn't imagine having to memorize those kind of lines like that. Especially as many shows as you guys did. I mean, 85 episodes? That's a lot for a kid. I mean, you guys were the main cast. Like, that's crazy.
22 a season, I think. It was fun. I think that also helped. You know, as a kid, I didn't realize I was working. Now it's a job.
Yeah.
Then it was fun.
Yeah.
So it was different then than it is now.
Yeah, that's how my kids are now. I mean, they look at it, and I don't know how it was then, but I know, like, when I go on set with them, and I'm like, you know what, they actually treat you better than they treat me at my job. I mean, all the food is free, the cater. I mean, feed you 3 or 4 times. They got a tutor. Yeah, did you guys have a tutor on set or no? How did that work?
Yes, absolutely. We had to. We went to school 4 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, and then on Friday we went to school 3 hours because we shot 2 shows. So the fourth hour they called banking an hour. That way.
Were you at a real school or you had a tutor?
I had a tutor. Okay. 3 weeks out of the month I had a tutor, and 1 week out of the month I would go to my regular school.
Wow. So, like, was that kind of awkward, like not being in school with all the other classmates and stuff? Or did they ask, like, where were you and stuff? Like, what was that like?
I don't know.
You don't remember?
Because I was a kid. Like, It wasn't awkward because I don't have anything else to compare it to.
Yeah.
If I had a different life to compare it to, right, maybe it would be awkward. But because I don't know life any other way,
right.
Mm-hmm. It was social hour for me when I got there. It was like, yo, what y'all been doing? Who had a party? What? Such and such is having a fight? I don't think I got no work done there. I only did work with my tutors.
Okay. I guess that's stuff that I worry about as a dad. Like, you know, I didn't want them to be, I mean, I look at you, you turned out great. So, I mean, that's the one thing I was worried about. Like, would they, you know, I don't know, just the pros and cons.
Am I allowed to cuss on your show?
Can you? You must haven't listened.
Okay, I was just going to say, let me keep it real. My mom will whip my ass. And I was told very early, the only stars in this world are in the sky, and they're untouchable. Your ass is very touchable. So because I had a mother like that, and she stayed on top of me, and she was always with me. Nobody else was my guardian. Nobody else watched me on set. You know, even though my uncle was there and working, he was working. So he was in the office upstairs. My mom was right there. And then I had a tutor who we used to tease. I didn't get it. She's black, but I called her Hitler because if I took 3 steps, she took 4. Like, I was very well protected throughout my career. And I think that's really what saved my sanity. And it saved me. And I was always told, only do this as long as it's fun. Nobody made me do it. And I think that's what makes a huge difference. What I see is like parents who push their children to do it. Those were the kids who were suicidal. Those were the kids who did drugs. Those were the kids who, battled anorexia.
Yeah.
It was my decision and my choice.
Nice.
That makes a world of difference.
Yeah. And I said that too. I was like, as long as it's fun for them, they can continue. I don't want it to be like, we're pushing. I don't want to be that type of parent. Like you got to do this for me. Like I didn't get a chance to do this when I was a kid, so do this. I don't want to be that type of parent. But yeah, I'm gonna take that advice because as long as it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah. And
then I was never the breadwinner. My mother kept a job. Like I said, I didn't know that we had money because my mom. So my mom has MS and lupus. And when I was 16, my mom came to me and was like, "I need to talk to you." And we sat down and we were on the stairs in the house. And back then they used to have bank books. My mom said, "I want you to see that if something happens to me, you'll be taken care of." I looked at my mom and I said, "Oh my God, whose money did you steal?" And she looked at me and said, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Whose money did you steal?" She was like, "You've worked for this money. This is your money." And I was like, "How did I get that?" I had no idea I was being paid.
So then you made an appearance on Days of Our Lives as LaToya Preston. Now, my mom used to watch that show. So what was that like?
I'm over here laughing because I'm like, really?
Oh, you don't remember
You remember that? No, I do remember it, actually. It was awesome. I don't know. It was just another job. I lied to get my job.
Really?
Yes, because I was supposed to be a dancer. I was supposed to be a ballet dancer. And I had taken ballet, but I had only taken like 3 lessons. And I told them, "Oh, yeah, I've been dancing for years." And I fooled them, and I ended up getting the job. It was an awesome job, if I remember correctly. I was supposed to be an abused child. And my father was like the police chief. And so I got to have bruises and stuff on my face. So it was fun to me.
And that's funny you say that because my kids were doing some stuff. And I was wondering, I was like, what if, I don't know, there's certain things I just couldn't handle, even though it's acting, but they're playing in the show in Chicago. And I'm thinking like, because you never know what the script is going to be. And I'm thinking like, and I asked one of the people on the set, I'm like, what if they say our kid has to get killed? Like, and we already agreed to that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I can handle it.
I went out for a movie, and I won't say the name of it, but it was about a bunch of children and some white men killing them in the 80s, and my mom did not let me do it.
Okay.
She was like, "Nope, not my kids. Sorry, it ain't happening."
Yeah.
So there is a fine line of art imitating life and life imitating art. So you do need to be a little bit careful what kind of karma you bring into your life. But as an adult, who doesn't like, okay, this sounds really bad, but like, I don't want to play anybody's best friend anymore. She's boring. She's dead. I'm over it. Yeah. I want to be beaten. I want to be raped. I want, to die that horrible death. Like, I need to do those kind of roles.
It's funny you say that because I remember John Stamos saying that he just got tired of playing Uncle Jesse, and he just like went out for, I forgot what's the name of that movie, but he was like, I just want to be, I think he was end up being a rapist. And I was like, I never saw it because I was like, Uncle Jesse, a rapist? But it was like, yes. He said he just needed to do that. He needed to play that. He was either a rapist or a murderer or something like that. But he said he needed to do it. He said he just had to.
Could you imagine, like, what was your first job?
Oh, I lied to get my first job, too. I worked at this amusement park. I was supposed to be 15. I was only 14.
So could you imagine still doing the same job you were doing then, right. Now? Like, right. How boring would that be?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah.
You have to grow.
Yeah, you have to. You're right. That is true. But that's a hell of a soundbite you just gave me. I want to be raped. In this Me Too era, you're saying that. Like, this is the Me Too era. Like, that's a hell of a soundbite, though. Thank you. I needed that.
I know, like, seriously, I want to be a hoe. I can't be a stripper because I don't have no skills. But, like, I want to do new and different and challenging fun things.
Now you're a mother now, so how do you explain that if you do get that job? How do you explain that to your kid?
Well, I have a child who realizes that things that happen on TV are not true or real. A lot of parents, I'm noticing as an adult, and it's one of the reasons why I had to move.
Okay.
I left California because I couldn't take it anymore. I felt like I was suffocating. People have not explained to grown-ass people that TV is not real.
Yeah, you're right. It took me a while to realize too.
They live in this Disneyland bubble where I'm like, dude, I didn't date Waldo. I love Sean, but I love Sean. Right. Waldo was not my nigga. Like, come on. A grown man asked me yesterday in my inbox. So, would you date a Waldo in real life? I was like, bro, you talking to me? You talking to Maxine? Those are two different people. My daughter is 4, and my daughter knows they're acting. It's not real.
Right.
So there would be like no conversation because we came to that with Mickey Mouse a long time ago.
Right.
Mickey Mouse was just a character.
But it's like for me, growing up, like you guys played, and we're going to talk about Family Matters now, but it's like I felt like, especially because Family Matters was based in Chicago, and I know where that house is at in Chicago. And it's almost like I felt like we knew you guys. Like TV was so different in the 90s. Like it was really must-see TV. Like I don't know how it was for you. I guess that'll be my next question. Because like I remember Fridays, Family Matters came on 7 p.m. every Friday. And me and my sister would rush to the TV to see, we call it Urkel. We had to rush to the TV and see it. And we felt like we knew y'all. I mean, we really felt like we knew y'all. So it was like, it wasn't acting to us. We knew you were in the box and we were just watching it, but we really felt like we knew y'all. Like we really felt there was a place called Rachel's Place. You know what I mean? Like we really wanted to go there one day. Like it was like, we really felt.
That is the biggest compliment ever because that means we did our job very well. But the thing with that is, there's still people out there that think that they know us. So when we see them, the conversations are either hella cool or hella weird. There's no in between.
Yeah, I can imagine that kind of gets old. You know, like, jeez, I haven't played Maxine
the weird
in
ones,
20 years.
The weird ones get old, but the cool ones are awesome.
Right.
Because I never really realized what famous was until I was like 30.
Okay.
I thought that I was just popular and a lot of people knew who we were.
Yeah.
And I was cool with that.
What do you think it would have been like? Because you guys were like fucking rock stars back then. But what do you think it would have been like if social media would have...
it would have been all bad for me.
Really? Okay.
Really, me and Darius. The rest of the cast might have been cool, but I'll just put me and D out there. Me and Darius would have had some issues. They would have been like, this motherfucker got drunk, threw up in Roscoe's. Like, it would have been bad. Because we grew up in a time, in a place, you know, where it's truly the devil's playground.
Yeah.
As long as you're on TV, you can go to any club you want. They're going to serve you anything you want. I wasn't a drunk, thank God. Never touched drugs, thank God. Yeah. But let me tell you, as an adolescent coming into, I had my moments.
Right.
And I did the same thing that any other adolescent would have done.
Right. Oh, fuck.
Not drugs, but I got drunk a couple times. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine me coming out of the club and paparazzi catching me whirling in the alley or something. You know, it would have been bad.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I mean,
I'm glad that's
honestly, it sounds like you lived a normal teenage life because that sounds like what we did as teenagers, you know. So
one thing I can say is that I'm thankful that I had my daughter when I was ready.
Right.
I planned to have my child, and my child just didn't happen to me. Mm. I lived a rock star life.
Rock star life. So
you take it how you want to.
Are we talking rock star? Are we talking rock star like Motley Crue, Rolling Stones, or Lil Wayne?
Maybe all three.
Oh, okay, yeah, that sounds good. Hey, I'm telling you, if I was in my 20s, I would have did it too.
I lived a hell of a life.
Yeah, you know,
like literally.
It's funny you say that because I was watching about Megan Good. I mean, it was the same thing, you know. I guess because you're living in that bubble like you guys were. I mean, why the hell?
Oh, I didn't live in a bubble. I had a ticket to anywhere I wanted to go in the world, and I went. So we would shoot Monday through Friday. You said 7 o'clock you'd be in front of the TV. We were in front of a live audience. By 9, I'd be trying to get to LAX to go wherever a plane ticket would take me.
Wait a minute. Say that schedule again. You said you recorded.
So we were taping in front of a live studio audience. You said 7 o'clock. Yes, Family Matters. Family Matters would end. We'd usually get done around 9 o'clock, 9:30, and I would be on my way to LAX, which was the airport, to get on a plane and go somewhere, anywhere. And I'd be back Monday, hopefully before time work started.
What time did you guys start? I can't imagine that show being in front of a live audience. I never really thought that. I always thought it was a laugh track. I didn't know it was really fun.
No, the live audience, we started taping at 6 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Yep, we'd have the audience probably there until like 7:30, and then we would stay and do pickups.
What is pickups?
There was some pickups, like if we messed up, you know, and there was something that they needed to get, or something always blew up or spilled or something. And a lot of times in front of the audience, because it was live, they couldn't clean up and try to do it again really quickly with the audience there, so we had to move on. So just so that they would have an extra take to cut, you know, we'd have to stay, we'd have to get our hair done again and go ahead and let whatever blew up or got wet or whatever, we'd have to do it again. So
I'm getting off like track a little bit because I really haven't officially asked you about Family Matters. But so you saying this is in front of a live audience? I need to know this because I never knew that was really in front of a live audience. How did he do, like, when he's playing Steve and then he'll play Stefan and then he's playing like the one time you guys had New Edition on and then all of a sudden Steve is in the crowd and then Stefan is up there with New Edition. I'm like, how was he, like, in front of a live audience? Was that all in front of a live audience too?
Some stuff was probably pre-taped.
Okay.
But yeah, we used to do stuff in front of a live audience where, you know, he'd do one character at a time and then you'd have to stop and change it, and then he'd do the other character at a time. And movie magic, they cut it together and make it look like they're both standing there.
But what was the live audience like doing? Because I never even know you can even like go to a show, like, I guess because I didn't live in LA, but like what was the live audience doing? Like you guys saying cut, he's about to change it to somebody, like how does that work? I don't know. I'm a nerd for this kind of stuff.
There's usually somebody in, it's called like the warm-up guy. He would sit in the audience and explain to the audience what was going on, so they got to see the real life experience of what happens behind the scenes.
Okay, cool.
You know, or one of us would come out and throw T-shirts and sign autographs, you know, say hello. And
so, all right, first of all, let me ask this. When did you even know that you were going to be playing the role of Maxine for the show Family Matters? How did you get that part? Did you, like...
I had to audition.
Okay, so they were looking for Maxine.
Yeah, she originally had a different best friend, and I don't know what happened, but they replaced her with me. I auditioned, and I had to audition twice. The first time I auditioned, I went in and they told my agent, we like her, but we don't want her to have braces. So my agent called and my mom was like, well, she ain't taking the fucking braces off. I just paid $5,000 for those braces.
Right.
I went in the bathroom and took my toenail clippers and popped them off.
You did it yourself?
Yes, my mother wanted to kill me. I was very pushy because I knew what I wanted. And I called my agent, asked my agent, would they allow me to come back in? And I remember my mom saying, if you don't get this part, I'm going to beat your ass because you got to get those braces back on. Long story short, my bottom teeth are still crooked. I got the part, and I never put my braces back on.
You actually popped the braces off yourself with what? What'd you use?
Toenail clippers. I know.
Wow.
I know. It's gross.
Well, I mean, it's not gross. It just goes to show, like, how old were you when you did this?
Probably 14. It was, 1989 or 1990?
Yeah. I mean, see,
Probably 14.
I'm a sports guy, and like I hear about like athletes like wanting to do something so bad so they'll pop their arm back in place and all this. I mean, that's similar to what you're doing, like as far as being an actress. Like
Absolutely.
14 years old, cutting your braces out your mouth. That's crazy.
What most people don't realize is you guys only see the victories. You don't see the struggles. Statistically, actors go on 100 auditions before they ever get a job.
Right.
So every time we get a job, we're back down to ground zero, and then nobody sees the hustle. Like I say, they only see the victories. So the ones that really want it and stay, like I can't even tell you how many auditions I've been on. I've heard no 10 million times more than I've heard yes.
Wow.
But it doesn't mean I quit.
Yeah, I mean, but let's just talk about the parts you did get. I mean, there's people that give their, like you said, give their left arm to be, on that show. I mean, that was the hit show. I mean, you guys, like you said, you guys were rock stars and that. Now,
we got really lucky. We were blessed.
Did you come on to that show before or after they got rid of Jamie Foxworth, who played Judy?
Before.
So you were actually
I was on the show
with her at the time.
Yeah, I've known her since she was a little girl. Yeah.
Why did they get rid of her? Do you know?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not my story to tell.
Okay.
Like I had to think about it, and I was like,
all right, well, no problem.
Whatever she tells is what the story will be.
Well, because see, it's almost like you kind of took her part. That's what it's. I mean,
No, not at all. She was on there with me. I replaced another girl who played Laura's best friend.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying as far as like best friends, but I'm talking about as far as like role on the show. Like you
no.
From a fan standpoint, I mean.
No, another kid came in. 3J came in after she was gone.
That's
Orlando
right.
Brown.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And the other little Ricky, his part got bigger.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, yeah, that's right. Little Richie. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Richie. There you go, little Richie. Brighton. I wanted to say his real name, but I was trying to think of his.
Yeah.
His part got bigger, and then 3J was brought in.
That's right. So okay, then you got the Sean Harris. Where? Okay, you say you're from Pittsburgh. I always wanted to ask this. Where is Sean Harrison from? Do you know?
I believe he's from Compton.
Okay. I always thought he was from Chicago. He looks like somebody I knew. Like I said, you guys felt like so real. Like I was like, man, I know the dude Waldo, man. I don't know where I know him from, but I knew him. But nah, he ain't from Chicago, so I don't know. But okay.
No, he worked on a lot of stuff. He was actually on Punky Brewster.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he play?
That's when I first met him. We went to camp on the show, and he was a boy who tried to kiss me at the kissing rock.
Wow.
So we've been friends for a long, long, long time.
Okay, and then before I feel like I'm jumping around. I like to try to stay in like a timeline, but this is like I'm already.
Stop.
So okay, stop. Okay, make it natural. All right, so what did the director tell you guys? Like, you guys are going to be a couple. Like, what were you thinking? Like,
it was written in the script, and because he was already like my first almost kiss and my first boyfriend on TV, it was awesome when he came in for the reading. I was excited to see him because it was kind of like a reunion.
All right. Well, okay. And I'm a big wrestling fan. In wrestling, they say like talk kayfabe, and what they mean kayfabe is like talk as if we're in that world, not the real world. So like I'm actually thinking like, because you're a fine ass girl. Like everybody on the show, I got 5 other hosts on this show, guys. They all like, man, we all had a crush on that damn Maxine growing up. We all like you a fine ass girl. So Maxine, how the fuck did Maxine end up with a Waldo? Like you hear about girls making that decision later on in life. Like, you know what, I had enough of the thugs. You know what, he's a nice guy. I'm going to date him. But why would a cute girl in her prime who could get any man she wants want a Waldo? I never understood that. But it was
because Maxine had went on some dates before and they ended up wanting her money and they ended up kind of dogging her out. Maxine's mom wasn't really prevalent in her life. I don't think she had a father. She really wanted love. And she met this man who treated her like a queen. Yes, he might have been a little dumb. Yes, he was quirky. He might not have been, the school jock, but in his eyes, she was the world. And so the thing about love a lot of people miss is love isn't necessarily how you feel about a person. It's the way the person makes you feel about yourself.
True.
Waldo made Maxine feel like everything.
As a teenager?
So why wouldn't you? Yes. Yes.
Wow. And then I remember Maxine giving Laura shit about you fell in love with Steve Urkel. Like, yeah, but you were with Waldo, so
you can always see somebody else's BS before you see your own, right?
Right. And I'm jumping around again, but then later on in the show, I think toward the finale, because you were actually, I think it was like a 3-part finale when you guys moved to CBS. You were like in a situation where you were dating a dope boy and you didn't know it.
Yes, my Waldo had moved away.
Yeah.
And
was that meaning that he left the show? That he left the show for whatever reason?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he was in college. And it's really hard to go to school while you're working because I tried to take night classes and I ended up, when you have 5 kids and they're all trying to go to college at one time, you rearrange the school times around Urkel. You don't rearrange the school times around the rest of the kids. It just is what it is. So the rest of us kind of fell off a little bit, and he was like, look, family marriage is going to be over one day, and I want my degree.
Nah, that's awesome. I got to respect that man for that. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, got to respect him for that.
Absolutely, but I was like, shit, I ain't going to school. I'm going to work.
Yeah, get your money. Yeah, I mean, that's how I was. That's how I was. Like,
sorry, I fell off topic. So then Maxine meets this man, and I don't remember the name of his character, but he was played by Christophe St. John. And when Christophe St. John approaches a woman, 9 out of 10, they're going to stop and listen.
Right. That was
she did.
That was a thug.
Yes.
Okay.
Christophe is so far from a thug, it's kind of funny. But Christophe was a thug, and he had me running drugs from my little dumbass. I had no idea because I was used to being with Waldo, who would never even dare think to have me do something like that.
Isn't that crazy though? Like what you're saying, like in today's world, like someone running drugs on TV, it's no big deal. You see worse than that now. But in the 90s, that was like 97 or 98. You didn't see shit like that. You didn't see someone running drugs or being a narc or nothing like that. You didn't see that on TV like that. I remember like on the Cosby Show, Theo brought home a joint and they had like a discussion about it. It's like he brought home a J. They didn't really say. I mean, and now you got in 98 Maxine running drugs from like a big time dope boy. Like you didn't see that kind of shit, man. Like what was the discussion like about that? Like did it take you guys back? Like, well, we're gonna do what on TV now? Like, you didn't see that.
Not at all.
Really?
Because we lived in the real world, so we were of the world. And like I said, my uncle's an executive producer. My uncle never shied away, even just talking to us, at home. He never shied away from real life issues. And he was all about, and he still is, he's all about attacking real life issues based on no sugarcoating.
Yeah.
And so that's what he did, and it was his way to kind of educate the nation.
Dope. Okay, so I was interviewed Trina McGee, and
yes, my girl.
Yeah, she's awesome, and all you guys are awesome. Thank you. She was talking about the episode where she got shot, and that's when she mentioned you, that you were in her arms, and like, were you really crying? You probably don't remember this, but were you really crying? Like, it was such an emotional.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I got to cry. That's one of my favorite things to do. So anytime they were going to let me, be out of the norm, I was all for it. And she's such an amazing person. Yeah. I remember her laying in my arms and screaming and crying in front of the audience. Plus, I was a huge fan of hers, so it was a lot of fun for me.
Wow.
I'm still a huge fan of hers.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool, man. So, what would probably be? Okay, let me see if I can get some other shit on. Did anybody date, like for real, behind the scenes on Family Matters?
I'll never tell.
You'll never tell. All right. I know you was messing with Carl Winslow. I know you was.
Me and Reggie had big things going. No, not at all. I was an underage girl. Reggie would never.
Oh yeah, I forget about that part. No. My fault.
The only thing that I will tell is Darius McQuarrie has been my husband since I was 15. That is a lie I've been telling everybody in the nation, including his mother, my mother. Like, it's really not a secret. If you look on Twitter, because me and Dee used to hang out, right? We'd be in the club. You know how some guy approach you don't want to talk to him. Oh, my husband's right there.
Yeah.
Darius has been my cover my whole entire life, and he's the love of my life.
Yeah, he's
Darius
cool.
and I had the same agent, and so we were all excited that we actually got to work with each other, because we met each other at a Christmas party. Our agents used to have Christmas parties every year.
Okay.
And it just so happened we met at a Christmas party. We stayed in touch, and then I showed up to work one day, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And then we got stuck together for like 9 years. How much better does it get?
Now, how was your relationship with Kelly, the one who played Laura?
Kelly's sweet girl. Sweet.
So
yeah, she was cool.
Okay, let me ask you this, because you told me like how you and Soleil, you guys just gelled right away because you guys were younger. Now, how was it like? Were you and Laura, or you and Kelly, like best friends off scene too, or just?
When we were young, we spent a lot of time together. Kelly's from the East Coast, so I'm from the East Coast.
Right.
So finally getting on the set with the East Coast girl, she listened to Go-Go. We talked the same slang. It was awesome. As we got older, we grew apart, but only because she's from the East Coast. So she moved. She lives in D.C. She moved to D.C. She got married. She has kids. Time goes past. You don't see each other. And she used to go home on the summers. So we weren't that close. The older we got, we started dating, and things changed. But we love each other. There's no there's no beef or animosity or anything like that.
Right.
We still talk on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and stuff, but she's a married mommy with kids, and I got,
Oh yeah.
We're both doing the same life on two different coasts.
Yeah. That's cool. I like it. Were you at the Family Matters reunion?
I wasn't invited.
Why not?
Well, I'll put it like this. And I explained it on my Instagram.
Okay.
When somebody's not invited to a party, you call them and say, "Hey, how come you weren't invited?" They don't really know the answer, right?
Yeah. I'm petty like that. I probably would have.
No, the best thing that I can think of is, well, Jalil put it together, number one. And number two, I was just a guest star. So maybe they only brought back the main cast. I don't know. I knew about it because Sean told me about it, and Sean felt a way about me not being invited. But I was okay. I was like, "Sean, go." go enjoy yourself and have fun.
Do you think that I know they kind of teased it. Do you think that they would have a reboot of that show?
We're not the Spice Girls, so they're not going to take us back without Jaleel. They've tried a couple times, and we're not the Spice Girls. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I remember him saying that he would never play that character again, but I don't get why. I mean, it was money. I don't see why he wouldn't, but I mean, that character, I mean, who didn't? I mean, I tried playing that character in 5th grade. Like, I mean, I don't know. So it's really on him. That's what you're saying.
I wish you could just see my dumb smile.
All right.
Hey, they didn't ask me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if they come to me, it's a different story, but it has to, go through channels first.
Yeah. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I'm still jumping around. What do you think the Maxine character would be doing right now if the show was still on and never went off air? What do you think Maxine's character, or your character Maxine, would be doing right now?
Raising Waldo's daughter.
Raising Waldo's daughter?
Absolutely, like our daughter.
Oh,
we would probably definitely be married. He would by now, I'm sure, have his own restaurant.
How would you guys be married? You were messing with dope boys and stuff. He left you. What were you talking about?
He left me because he moved away. He did not leave me because he did not love me. I don't know if you watched the episode where he wrote me a letter telling me how to find him, but he left no city or street name. He just gave me directions. He was in the something behind the subway or something, right next to the post office, down the street from Cheetos. I don't remember what the line was, but yeah. So I think, I probably got on the phone after the Doughboy and called and was like, I really got myself into trouble. I can't do this dating thing anymore. I need you back in my life. And he was like, baby, don't cry. Where are you? Let's make this work. And we'd still be together now.
I got a different spin on that. That guy went away for school to learn to be a chef, and a lot of women love chefs. I don't know. I think he would have had a lot of competition, especially the fact that his girl's dating dope boys and stuff. I don't know.
Maxine is from Chicago, so don't get it twisted. Maxine will be somebody's ass for her shawty, okay?
You really do sound like you from Chicago talking that talk right there. Hey, real talk. Okay, but like I said, I got distracted again. Watching you all grow up. Now, did you all did you all have any creative control? Like, because you guys were growing up, like you went from, preteens to full-blown teenagers. Like, did you all did the directors ever come up with something like whack, and you guys had to be like, look, we wouldn't do that in real life. Like, let's do it
often.
This way. Okay.
Especially for Kelly and I. At one point, we had all white writers, and so they were writing for white teenage girls. And we was like, yo, we don't even talk like that. So we would go in the editing room and in the writer's room sometimes, and we'd be like, can we just talk to y'all for a minute? And I remember the writers sitting around the table while Kelly and I went in, and we gave them just lingo. We were like, this is the slang that we're using now. This is what it means.
Yeah.
Can you please incorporate this?
Because I do remember one time you saying something. Oh, I remember it just like it was yesterday. Somebody spreaded a rumor on Laura saying that her first boyfriend had slept with her. And you didn't know how to tell her, and you told her, there's a rumor about you out here, and it's a doozy. And even me, I was thinking the black girl ain't gonna say it's a doozy. Where'd she get that from? That's the only time I was like,
from some writer. Definitely from some writer, but it's probably a lie that somebody done told on me. There's a very famous actor out there that was the first one to lie on my coochie. And I still look at him like he crazy every time I see him, because I was only 15 years old when he told a lie, so I hadn't had sex yet.
I hadn't heard about this. Like,
he's on one of the biggest hit shows there is. I won't give names, but I'll just say it ain't Power.
Okay, so it must be the other show that I don't watch. What's the name of that? Empire. Damn, Terrence Howard said that he... What? God damn, Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard.
Right?
But I forgot he was on that show. I remember him making that a cameo on Family Matters. That is crazy.
Really?
Yeah. And you know who else I remember being on that show? The little short girl, Danny Nicolette, I believe. I think that's her name. She played for Vonda or some shit like that. And turns out she ended up being like Kevin Hart's wife and something. Like it's like this amazing cast of people that was on that show. Like Lorenz Tate was on that show, you know.
Yes. Garcelle Dublevé.
Exactly. She was on that.
Vivica Fox.
Vivica Fox. I don't remember when was Vivica Fox on there.
Vivica Fox is on there. I think she played Onisha, who is actually my cousin's name in real life. I think that's why I remember that.
Wow. So when you were recording, I know you said you were in another world, but did you realize that you were part of, like, especially Black TV history? Did you realize that you were part of that?
Not until it was over.
That's amazing.
Absolutely not. Had no clue.
Wow. That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
I'm telling you, I lived in a bubble. I was in La La Land. I had a free telephone, free food, and a car, dude. I could do anything I wanted to do. What was going on at work was the last of my worries.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
I was literally living a great life. That's the dangerous thing about Hollywood. Yeah. You know, you're young, you're dumb.
Yeah.
You have endless money and can do anything you want to do.
Right. I mean, but at least you survived it. You know what I mean? Like,
well, not even survive. I lived it. And that's the greatest part. I lived it. I enjoyed it. But, like, you know, I was just kind of like, so are we going to do my scene next, or are there other scenes next? Because if there's other scene next, should I go into the mall real quick? Because I'm going out tonight, so I need something to wear. Like, that's where my head was.
Right. So, like, it says you were, like, on 60 episodes or something like that. So, even, like, on the shows that you weren't, like, filming on, were you still, like, always there? Okay.
No. Why would I be there? That'd be weird. The shows that I wasn't there, I was out. I was going to school. I was hanging out and doing whatever young kids do.
Wow.
I was on a tour bus. I was going to basketball and football games. I was going to an island. I was doing everything.
So what was that like, though, trying to be a regular kid, but you're on TV every day? Like, what was that like?
We did. I don't know, because I don't have another life to compare it to.
Okay, for instance, like, if that was me, and okay, if I was you, but the male version of you, I would probably have about 7 baby mamas and about 7 custody cases. But girls' life is different, because like what kind of groupies did you have? I know I would have plenty of groupies if I was on a primetime show on Friday night.
So male groupies are real, and they're still alive and well. Most of the men that I ever dated, I actually wrote a book. It's called Stupid Guy Diaries, and it talks about nothing but groupies. And after about 20, I had to stop because I started feeling like a hoe. But then I realized, well, maybe you're not a hoe because you really didn't get to sleep with half of them because they couldn't keep their mouth shut.
Yeah.
So you're okay, but I just couldn't write any more diary entries because it made me start feeling weird about myself.
Well, I mean, like, this is the first time I really heard of, like, a male groupie. Like,
are you kidding me?
I'm serious. I don't really understand, like, what a male groupie is. Like, what does a male groupie do? Like, I know what.
Let me just put it. It's the same thing a female groupie does. If you put me, Brandy, Countess Vaughn, Megan Good, Gabrielle Union, you know, who you put us all in the same room, we can all laugh about the same guys. Same thing female groupies do, but worse. The difference is when, let's say, a Darius, right? He's like 6'2", 230 pounds. When he goes in his hotel room and there's a naked girl in there, it's cute, right? He's not afraid for his life.
Right.
When I walk in my hotel room and there's a man that's 6'2", 230 pounds naked in my bed, I'm terrified.
Yeah,
because I'm scared I'm going to get raped. Right.
Wait a minute,
those
that's
are my
happened
stories.
to you? That's happened to you?
Twice.
Because
once in Atlanta, once in New York.
Get the fuck out of here. And
one of the guys worked at the hotel and made himself a key. The other guy, his last name was Johnson, and he told the people at the front desk he was my husband.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And they
Scary shit.
And they were just in your room?
Naked. In the bed.
This was during the Family Matters times?
Both were after.
After.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It's weird.
I just can't picture, because, like, I mean, I'm sure those guys got arrested, right?
I don't know if either one of them did, honestly.
Yeah, like you said, because, like, if a woman does that to a guy, you know, like you said, it's cute. It's hell, you almost feel honored. But like you said, a man, you just, you know, because the violent nature of men.
All the same stories that men have, so do the women. Women just don't talk about it.
That's crazy. I don't know. I don't know why. That's like hard for me to believe. Like for
I
instance,
don't know why either.
I put it to you like this. I've been around through the music business. I have a lot of friends that had a great music career, and I was fortunate to be, I don't know, maybe unfortunate, but I was around a lot of the shit. And I seen a lot of stuff. Unlike you, I'll tell names because I don't care no more. Like, I was around the whole R. Kelly stuff from 2000 to 2005, 4 or 5.
Well, Aaliyah was my friend. So.
Oh God, you just made this shit. Really? That was your friend?
Yeah.
How'd you meet Aaliyah?
So dirtbag. Barry Hankerson, her uncle, is my brother's godfather. So it's kind of like one big happy family.
Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I got to do great things and go on tours and be on tour buses and go from city to city to city. Yeah. I'm telling you, I live my best life.
Jeez. Now.
Yeah, but he's a scumbag.
Yeah, he is, and I don't mind saying that now that I'm not around.
Me neither. He hates me because I say it all the time, and I say it on social media, and I tag him.
So you met Rob before?
Pervert?
Yeah, pervert.
Yeah.
How old were you when you met him?
Maybe 15.
Really? So you knew when Aaliyah got married, huh?
Even little Aaliyah's got it. She was like fucking 8 when he sang that.
Wait, she was 8 when what?
Remember the song Vibe?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. She did.
Even little Aaliyah's got it.
That is right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, she was like 8 or 9.
How the fuck did he even know her? Oh, because of Barry. That's right.
Because of Barry. She'd be running around the house playing, and he was fucking eyeing her.
Sick fuck.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that tops everything I was about to tell you, but...
Sorry.
I mean, seriously.
I could just imagine. I can imagine. But you know what? I grew up in the times where... God, I hate... Like, Eazy-E was the homie, you know? And the guys from NWA... That was the homie. The guys from NWA treat me like I'm a little sister. They sent me home a lot. I was well protected. You know, there's some basketball players who, Chris Webber, just a slew of them, Oliver Miller, old Apollonies. They used to send me home. Mark Curry.
Yeah.
I didn't know that some of the parties that we would go to start out as parties,
Right.
And then after 12 o'clock, they would become orgies. I never knew because I got sent home.
See, that's
all those guys protected me.
You knew Lil Leah got like you, man. You really threw me off. I must just throw away this whole fucking.
Sorry, you just want to throw the whole interview in the trash.
No, I'm talking about throw away all my. What do I need my questions for? You giving me all the material. That's what I'm saying. I might as well just throw all that shit. Like,
No. I'm sure you're talking about stuff we need to talk about. Like, what am I doing now?
But that was going to be the next question. But I'm still like, that was like, I just can't believe. So, how was it? Like, I don't mean how was it, but like, when Aaliyah passed, like, where were you at when this happened?
Oh my God, I'll never forget that day. My mom called, and I was actually at M&M Soul Food off Crenshaw, and I was eating with my homegirls, and my mom said, "Put Jocelyn on the phone," and Jocelyn said, "What? Okay, Mommy, I'm bringing her home now." And I looked and I was like, "What the fuck happened?" Jocelyn was like, "Nothing." She was like, "Can I have the check?" And I was like, "What?" You could just see like the terror in her eyes. She's still one of my best friends in the world today. And I was like, "Mom, what happened?" And my mom said, "Where's Balon?" And I said, "I don't know. That's my brother."
Yeah.
And she said, "Where's Jomo?" And I said, "I don't know. Why?" And I looked up at the TV and it said plane crash. And my mom said at the same time, "Baby Aaliyah just died. There was a plane crash." My mom was calling. She didn't know if my brother and my godbrother were on the plane with her, which usually they would have been. And I said, "What?" And I don't remember anything else.
Wow.
I just remember somehow Jocelyn got me home. She took me to my mom's. And I mean, I didn't even live at my mom's, but my mom took me home. Long story short, my godbrother was in New York and my brother was in California. They were not with her. And one ended up in the hospital because he had a heart attack. So it was a time in my life I'll never forget, and I never want to like live it again.
Yeah, I remember the day I was at this pizza place when I heard about it, and you know what's crazy? I remember being in high school, and Aaliyah, I guess she's like a year or two older than me, so I remember the rumors about her and R. Kelly or whatever like that. I remember when R. Kelly was messing with whatever happened, you know, and I just remember being a kid thinking like, fuck, it's Aaliyah fine as hell. Why wouldn't he be messing with her? That's what I was thinking as a kid. Like, why shouldn't he say a teenager? I was like, what man wouldn't mess with Aaliyah? It wasn't until I got like 29 years old and I watched the interview he did with Aaliyah and on BET, and that was the first time I looked at her and I was like, man, I was a kid, because at the time she was older than me, and all I saw, like, I looked at you on Family, and I'm like, girls are fine as hell, like, what man wouldn't? But it wasn't until then I'm like, wait a minute, now that I'm older and I'm looking at her, like, there's nothing attractive about. Now, when she was on Rock the Boat, she was attractive, but when I see her on that interview as a 15-year-old kid, I'm like, that's a 15-year-old kid, 15-year-old girl, like, bro, what you doing, man? Like, you don't do that. Like, you don't do that, man. That's talented girl, though, man. Did you know she was as talented as she was? Did you know?
Yes. Watching her perform was magical. And she picked up dance steps like it was nothing.
She could sing, dance. I always ask this question. I always want to know this question. If she would have still remained with us, how big would Beyonce be now?
No, why do people do that? No, you know what I hate? They always try to compare, like you have to pick one or the other. The great thing about entertainment is there's room for every one of us.
Yeah, that's true. But
And
there's
every one of us have our own lane. Aaliyah is not Beyonce, and Beyonce is not Aaliyah. They're two completely different entertainers in their own right. And for some reason, people don't do that to white entertainers. They don't say, oh, you know, if Janis Joplin or whatever her name is, Janis Joplin was alive, would there be an Adele? They don't do that. They didn't, you know, they don't say, oh, you know, we have Madonna, so we don't need a Lady Gaga. No, there's room for both of them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you're right. We do. It seems like we do, but I feel like they do it on their side too. But I can't give an example right now. But I was trying to think of one. But I feel like it's on both sides. I think, but in this business, to me, it seems like a competitive business. So I would think that the competitiveness is what makes you all achieve. Like the fact that you rip your braces off to get a role. I mean, at 14, I mean, that shows competitiveness. Like you wanted that part. Like I think at the end of the day, everybody wants to be on top. And I always wonder that because she was so talented, so beautiful, naturally beautiful too, you know. And I just wonder, I always wonder, like, what would a world be like if she was still here? Like, would it? Because I mean, we do it with Tupac too. Like, I always wonder, like, if Tupac was still here, would there ever been a DMX? Would there ever been a Ja Rule? Would there ever been a Jay-Z? Like, if Pac was
there was a Janet Jackson, and we had Paula Abdul.
Yeah, you can't make the comparison. I think they're two different people though.
Exactly, just like Aaliyah and Beyonce, two completely different people.
Yeah.
Two completely different vocal skills, two completely different performances. One is a total tomboy who's more like a T-Boz, and then Beyonce is like a Diana Ross or something. Different lane.
Yeah, I think Aaliyah could have been like a Diana Ross too. She was a diva.
Yeah, but they wouldn't get the same songs. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't do the same songs. They don't have the same performances.
Okay.
I really think there's room for both of them.
Yeah, it probably would have been. I just wonder which one would be on top. Like which one, not on top, but like which one would be
both.
Both.
Absolutely.
Did you know her when she was? I'm not know her, but were you like around her when she was with Dame Dash?
You know what? She's gone.
Okay.
So whoever she was with, she was like, that's not my story. I tell my story, but I can't tell other people.
I wanted to know, were you like around the Rockefeller era? Like, were you around that? That's what I was talking about you, so that's why I asked.
Okay. What do you want to know? You want to know if I know Jay? You want to know if I know Dan?
Hell yeah, do you? I guess you saying you don't need to be around. You don't need to be around her to know them people, huh?
No, I'm just saying we've met.
Cool. Like, what was it like being around her? Because Dame is the person that who I always like looked up to. I always liked the person he was. I felt like he's the one that really built that whole thing over there, and I don't think he gets enough credit. So I always wonder, like, what was he? I never met anybody that really knew him or been around him.
He was nice. He was nice, or he was nice to me. Cool. The guys were always nice.
Yeah.
Nice, quiet, and charming.
Cherie,
they weren't my friends, but I met them.
Cherie, this is crazy. I swear this interview is only supposed to be 30 minutes. I got I don't know how much time you got, but I still got to get into what you're doing now. I wasn't expecting all this. This is crazy. I wasn't expecting.
I mean, Superhead's nice too, you know.
Hold on, you know her too?
Sweet, beautiful. Of course I do. Sweet, beautiful girl.
Superhead.
The first time I met her, it was actually at a club way before her and Darius got together.
That's right.
Darius and I were at a club called Platinum on Ventura Boulevard, and she walked in with DMX.
Yeah.
That was the first time I met her. I'm actually proud of her, and I'm a big fan of hers. She kind of like blocked me on Twitter, but I think it's because I think it's because of my association with Darius.
Okay.
She doesn't realize how genuine I am. I like her a lot, and I think she's funny, and I think she's smart. She's a beautiful girl who took a negative connotation that was given to her and turned it into something positive and powerful for her.
She actually created the era that we live in now. I think, like,
Absolutely.
If you look at, like, Instagram is like women's libertation. Like, I mean, Instagram took away from the middleman literally being a man, like where a woman had to depend on a man for anything. Like, Instagram proved that, like, it showed the independence full of, and I think that before Instagram, she was the first female hustler to, like, you see all these girls now, like this girl Brittany Reiner or whatever. I'm trying to get her on the show, and that's all super. That's all Corinne Steffens. All that's Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian. That's Corinne Steffens. She did it first. I heard Dame Dash was actually behind that first book. I heard he had something to do.
Black China. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Amber Rose.
Oh yeah.
There were two women who kind of did something like she did, and I don't remember the name of the book, but it was like it's called something Court. It was written by two NBA wives. Was it Half Court, something Court? But they were the first ones to write like a scandalous book like that, kind of about the whole hip hop era. But she started a whole. I would love for her to do her story.
I think she did already, right? That book.
Did she?
I mean, that book was.
No, I mean like a movie.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you this: being out in LA, you're a beautiful girl. You've been around. I guess. I think I know the answer to this already. You had men that took care of you. Did you ever get an audition for, like, to do adult entertainment? Like, did anybody ever
like porn?
Yeah, did anybody ever ask you to do something?
No, homie. No, I never had an audition for porn.
No, not an audition, but like, did anyone ever like ask you, like, hey, you should think about doing this? Like,
I was actually approached and given a flyer one day from a guy, and I think maybe he was like a pimp or a porn manager or something. Yeah. And I looked down at it and I started laughing. Yeah. And I told him, I'm very vocal. So I said, what the fuck is this? Kiss flash. And I handed it back to him.
Oh, okay.
But besides from that, no. I grew up in, like, right near San Fernando, and then I moved while I was doing family matters. I actually lived in Woodland Hills, which is the porn capital.
Wow.
So, like, Mr. Marcus and Mr. Long and all those guys kind of lived around the corner from me.
So you knew them?
Yeah. If I even told them that I was coming to do porn or something, they would probably cuss me out.
What are you into now? Because I see that you're a nutritionalist, and I know you're writing books and stuff. What all are you doing now?
I'm doing everything I never got a chance to do before. No, but seriously, I'm living my dreams. I am the assistant editor over at Fever Magazine, which started off as a pinup magazine. It was a pinup girly magazine where I used to only get to shoot beautiful women, but now it's a lifestyle magazine. So just fun stuff, man. You get to sit around with chefs, sit around with half beautiful naked women, and then the next day you shoot beautiful men, and you get to ride on yachts and just talk about the best things that are happening in life. I also am part owner of a couple natural companies. Going to Natural is a company that was started by one of my really good friends. She makes beauty products, lotions and salves and all kind of goodies for your skin. Because what a lot of people don't realize is that when something hits your skin, it goes into your bloodstream within 26 seconds. So when you use things that are over the counter, a lot of them have chemicals in it. She makes all natural products. I have a natural hair care line, and I'm opening up a spa called Keon with my partner. It's called Keeping It All Natural. It is a beauty spa working to keep you natural from the inside out, and it's featuring a Bella Shape machine, which is like all the rave in Europe. And there's only a couple machines in the United States. It'll be open in Hollywood, Florida at the end of the month, and it is a appointment-only spa. Bella Shape machine is like a laser contouring machine where it kind of can give you a facelift without being invasive, or it can help take away the cellulite on the back of your thighs without you having to have plastic surgery.
Okay.
And I'm a homeschool mom, so I homeschool my daughter. We go to Taekwondo 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And she goes to swimming 2 days a week, so I'm being a mom.
That's dope. You homeschool, so you're a teacher? You able?
I am her teacher.
Oh, okay.
Right now, she's 4, and
Yeah,
she's
she's
starting
4.
2nd grade.
Right. Whoa.
She's yes. That's one of the reasons why I decided to move away from California and homeschool, because there's no way I can send her to pre-K with kids who were saying their alphabets and counting to 10. She would look at me like I was crazy and wasting her time.
Where are you at now? I mean, not directly where are you at now, but when you say you moved out of LA, where?
I left. I won't really disclose my location, because for the first time in my life, I am living like a normal person.
Gotcha.
I get to go to the grocery store. I live in the greatest town, I think, in America, in the greatest state in the United States, because people here are human, and they kind of humanize a celebrity. Like, they might notice you, but you'll get a head nod or, hey girl, how you doing? I'll be like, how you doing? You know, I walked in the dollar store the other day, and this lady said, what you doing in here? I was like, girl, what you doing in here? She said, right, and kept it moving.
So you must be, I think you're in Atlanta. That's where you're at, Atlanta.
No.
Sounds like Atlanta. But that's cool, though.
Absolutely not. But, but yeah, it's awesome.
Tennessee. Now, you know what?
I'm living a normal life for the first time ever, and it's a lot of fun. I don't know how long it's going to last, but for right now, it's awesome. I also have a TV pilot in development with Hillary Burton attached in Anne Montana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's over. I can't talk about it. It's over at a major network, and I am the creator and executive producer, so I'm really excited about it.
Man, congratulations on that. Now, let me ask you this. With you saying you're living a regular life for the first time, what did you think about, I forget his name, but the guy that played Elvin on the Cosby Show?
Yes.
Trying to live a regular life by getting a job. What did you think about that?
I didn't think about it. I mean, people work for a living. I think that it's crazy that whoever that woman was had an issue with where he worked.
That's why I was wondering what you feel about him actually, like, the heat he got on social media for having a job. I'm thinking, like, what else is he supposed to do? You know?
Right. You know, it's hard dealing with the public. No matter what industry you're in, it's even harder dealing with the public sometimes when you're on TV, because people feel like you wear a customer service badge and you're never allowed to take it off.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of normal jobs. A lot of people don't know I worked for the FDA.
You work? Oh,
I was an auditor. I worked at a hotel at one point and worked the front desk. My mother, the reason why I'm a nutritionist is my mother owned a gym. So guess who worked in the gyms when she wasn't on TV?
Yeah.
So I always had normal jobs and never really thought anything of it. But this new era of celebrity, or what celebrity is supposed to be, and these unrealistic demands that the public has is ridiculous.
You know what's crazy? If it wasn't for social media, that's the bad thing about social media. It wouldn't even have been a big deal, because there's people that really need to get a job and
who are ashamed. They feel ashamed, and you should never be ashamed to have a job or to work hard. I
was working with this. Let me ask you, was I wrong by saying this? I was working with this guy. I probably got to edit this out. And he, in all seriousness, because then he had a union job, and I told him, I said, look, you don't quit a union job. Let them fire you just in case something happens, and your union will get you back in. And he stepped out on faith, and so and didn't turn back. But I told him, I said, well, at least go file for unemployment. That's your money. What the fuck I look like going to file for unemployment? I got a #1 song playing in Chicago right now. And I said, because it's your money. I don't think you realize that that's your money. You haven't received a check yet. You might have a number one song, but you haven't got a check yet. So technically, you're unemployed. I told him to go get his unemployment check, and he, like, I ain't gonna say he fired me, but he kind of like, you know, like it's like you know, I wasn't good at being.
He had pride.
Yeah, I wasn't good at that yes man thing. You know, I felt like.
But you're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the reason why some of my friends are still my friends, first of all, I don't like yes men.
Yeah.
And all my friends are men. Almost all my friends are men because we can talk to each other and tell each other the truth.
Right.
And anybody who is working their way to the top or who is on top always needs that true friend that's going to tell them the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he'd probably appreciate me more now because I see the stuff that he's going through now. But, yeah, I don't know. To me, I think I would have did it. Like, I don't know. But maybe I don't have that kind of pride. I mean, that's the reason why I would never be in that business because, you know, I don't have that kind of pride. Like, I mean, I looked at that's your money. You put that money in there for when you get unemployed. So you should get your money, you know. Stop.
I've never gotten public assistance. I never even thought about it. But I guess I could. I mean, I got a kid. Can't you go get an EPP card? I don't know how that works. But
Right.
now that I think about it, you know, I don't know. I don't really know how that works. And I probably really could because Cherie Johnson never really had a job. I work under a corporation. You got me thinking. I mean, Old Dirty Bastard picked up his food stamps with his meat coat on in a limo.
Yeah, right. Right. Hey, you know what? Man, you're like layered. Going
We grew
natural.
up together, dude.
Huh?
I said we grew up together, dude. It's like having a conversation with the old homie.
I feel like it, man. I feel like it. This natural stuff.
Yes.
I feel like. Tell me what you mean by natural, because there's a lot of women. I have this conversation. We have a female co-host too. She couldn't make it tonight, and we had this discussion about a lot of the today's women feel like they need injections and you know, they're not natural, and a lot of people are saying that they're blaming black men for the results of the way today's women. Like I understand Beyonce looking the way she looks, or Nicki Minaj, because they're getting paid to look that way. I think it's kind of sad to see 15-year-old girls that with like 10-pound eyelashes on that can't blink their own eyes. Like, I think, but people say that black men created that because we were infatuated with the strippers and stuff like that. But just because we're infatuated with strippers doesn't mean that you're supposed to dress like one. And me growing up, the strippers put on all those accessories because they had to go to school the next day and they didn't want everybody to know that they were a stripper. So they put on the wigs and they put on the 10 pounds of makeup and all that, and they washed it off in the morning so they can go to school. Like, hey, don't you look familiar? But they, nah, you don't know me, whatever, like that. You know, it was like an undercover job. To now, the undercover job has become mainstream. It's like I don't know how you feel about that, because since you do the natural products, how do you feel about this?
I think it's sad, and I do think that it stems a lot from black men. But let me explain my take on it.
Okay.
Women are taught at a very young age that they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Usually from their father or whoever their father figures are. I happen to love myself because I was surrounded by black men who loved me enough to teach me to love myself. I was told by somebody, and I won't name drop, but one of the biggest rappers in the world looked at me one day and he said, "You're perfectly imperfected. Everything on you and everything about you is the way God meant for you to be."
Yeah.
I grew up with some of the most phenomenal men in the world who treated me like I was perfect. So And I'm not saying I grew up thinking I was perfect, but I grew up knowing that I was perfectly me. Where some of these women are given to the wolves. And some of the wolves might even be the men who helped raise me a different way, okay?
Yeah.
Who like the big booties or the big butt, or they watch these men catcall at the woman with a face full of makeup. Those are the same men who, when I got off work, told me to go wash my face because I was not a geisha or a prostitute. I didn't need to walk around looking like that. And my own face was perfect.
Right.
So I think when I say that I blame it on black men, I blame it on the way that they're raising these little, or are not raising these little girls, and what example they're giving these little girls. Because you hear little Kim say that her own male family members talk about how they didn't like dark-skinned girls. So she always wanted to be light-skinned. She always wanted her hair to be lighter.
Yeah.
She had a problem with her nose because of the things that she heard them say.
Yeah.
Where I was told, you're enough.
You know what? That's the first time I've ever heard anybody break it down like that. That's probably the most eloquent I've ever heard that broken down to me. So now when I hear stuff like that, okay, like I can take responsibility. Because to me, I felt like it's not black men, it's the Kardashians that did this to women. I think that people want. Well, let me tell you the reason.
You can't single-handedly hand that to them.
Okay,
This
let
has
me
been going on for years.
Well, let me explain to you why. This is I don't know if you're friends with Kim or nothing like that. I have nothing against her or whatever. I'm just telling you from the standpoint where I'm at, the way I looked at it. I looked at Kim as being a successful woman, but also a woman that wanted to be black. So she kind of made herself to be, she gave herself the big booty and she started messing with the black guys and stuff like that. But in my opinion, only one simp actually took her in and wifed her. So I don't see like how black women got to the point where they were just, well, you guys like Kim, so this is why we did this. But what Kim did was she put a booty on herself, but then next you know, black women who are already naturally curvy got an ass on top of an ass. So now it looks like you got a fucking, 2 pillows in your butt, and it's not, you don't need that because she needed that. You didn't need that.
They look crazy. So I went through a phase in my 20s where I thought I wanted a boob job because I had became vegan and I lost all this weight. I was really skinny and my boobs left, where they had gone from being really big to minute, right?
Right.
And I had this conversation with Nigel Davenport, who at the time was playing for the Green Bay Packers. Oh. Nigel and I never dated. We met and we were friends and we stayed in touch. These are the kind of men who I was blessed to be around. Right. Nigel wrote me a 4-page letter. Literally. I don't know what he was doing in Green Bay. I don't know.
Have you ever
nothing
been to
about
Green Bay?
who he was hooked up with.
Have you
no,
ever
I've never been to.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
I've never been to. But I'm saying he probably had some groupies and stuff up there with him. So I'm saying somebody's listening to this and they're like, that Najee's a dog. I don't know nothing about that part of the man. All I know is that this man sat down, wrote me a 4-page letter about how I was perfect. And I did not need to, what did he call it? There's something about how I did not need to destroy my body, basically, and put no fake boobs in me. And then he called me and would check in on me because he was concerned that he did not want me to go have my boobs done.
Nice.
Who takes the time to do that but a wonderful black man? And that's what I'm saying. So I can't say, that all black men are bad or all black men, like these fake Barbies. I have to say there are some, you just have to, who do you surround yourself with? Who do you have your daughters around? Watch what examples they're getting.
True. I guess if I want to play devil's advocate, I would say this. Now, let me say this. I agree with everything you're saying, and that's dope because we do have the responsibility, men and women, to just tell people the right stuff. I mean, I always say this now. If there was a woman that would tell a lot of these guys, hey, I like you for who you are. You don't have to sell drugs to impress me. Or I don't need a guy with lots of money or big trucks and big rims and stuff like that, a lot of guys probably wouldn't, because they're hustling, you know, the power. I hate to quote R. Kelly, but the power of the PUSSY. They hustling for that. So if there was women that would, you know, tell guys,
but there are.
It depends on what
absolutely.
age. Depends on what age bracket you are. I mean, in high school, no, there wasn't. In my early 20s, no, there wasn't. You know, I mean, it was
depends on what kind of women you were around. Because if you were around women like me, we'd tell you, baby, I got you. I'll pay the bill.
If you're in the club,
I paid for many dates.
I know, but if you're in the club scene, that competition, you if you're a regular guy in the club scene, you already dealing with the celebrity guys like the Dariuses or the NBA players that might come in there. And like, how do you like, guys? What leg do you got to stand on? That 9 to 5 shit ain't cool when there's another guy popping bottles in there. Like, you know, I mean,
it's cool if you make it cool, because even though I might have walked in with the NBA players or I might have walked in with Darius, guess who I dated? Not them.
Right.
I dated the guys who had the 9 to 5.
True. That's dope. Well, I mean, we need more women like you. We need more women like you. But I guess on the flip side, if I want to play devil's advocate, like you said, you almost felt like you were blessed to have the men in your life to tell you, you know.
Absolutely.
But on the flip side, women have intuition. Women, for the most part, are smarter than men. So it's kind of hard for me to believe that you needed that's the part I have a hard time hearing. We need you men to tell us, like, no, you guys are smarter than us. Like, we don't need us to tell you anything.
No, men need women and women need men. It's the equal balance of life. You know, we absolutely need each other. We're a village. It takes a village to raise a child.
True.
I had uncles and a grandfather. You know, at 15, I got a father who loved me.
Right.
And I was taught by these men to love myself. I have brothers who told me, I remember putting braids in my hair, and my brother walked behind me in the mall and pulled on my hair and was like, take that fake shit out your head. Yeah. You know, I remember getting off work, and my brother's a music producer, and he actually produced for Dr. Dre. And I walked in the studio one day, and they laughed at me, and I was like, why are you laughing? And they were like, take those eyelashes and that red lipstick off. But I had just come from work, you know?
Yeah.
And they told me to go wash my face. So I don't wear makeup today. I don't wear red lipstick unless it's like a photo shoot or I'm at work or something like that. I don't wear that. I lick my lips or put some Vaseline or something on my lips.
And by the way, I don't know if I stressed this enough during this interview. You are a very pretty girl. Like since the beginning. Like man, I remember when we first saw it, like I just like going back like in time, man, like it's crazy.
Thank you. I'm batting my eyes and doing the cute little girl look. I appreciate it.
Real tough.
But because I was treated like that, you know what I'm saying? I don't wake up every day and try to make myself look perfect. I have a ponytail in my hair right now.
But that's also like confidence too, you know. You got a lot of self-confidence to be able to say, hey, I'm going to be me. And I think, you know, it helps that, you know, being fine helps, you know, where the average girl probably couldn't do what you do, you know. No, because I think beauty definitely comes from within, and it has a lot to do with loving yourself. But don't you think it's easy for pretty? Don't you think it's easy for pretty girls to be able to say that? Like, that's, let me play devil's advocate. If I was a girl, I would be like, yeah, but you're light skinned, you got long hair. It's easy for you to say that beauty comes from within. Oh my God, no! Do you know how many pretty girls are single and how many ugly girls are married? No, I don't. I mean, really think about it. So I was told one day, I tried to date this dude, and he looked at me and he said, you're the kind of girl that you date and you take around your friends, but you're not the kind of girl that you marry. Whoa, really? And I said, what? And that's what I said. What the hell does that mean? He said, but you don't marry a pretty girl. He said, you marry a decent girl, but you never want to marry a girl that all your homeboys want to sleep with. Yeah, I did hear that before. Yeah, you're right. He kind of got a point, but I wouldn't look at you as being like that. But I was like, wow, you know how bad that, like, what have I been doing the past 8 months? Why am I with you? Yeah. Why would you say that to me? Yeah, I understand where he's coming from, but I don't know where he got that from with you. Like, I don't think like Kim Kardashian is that type of person. And I don't know if you got a relationship with Kim or not. I'm just saying, like.
No, I mean, I know of her.
Yeah, okay. All right, like, that's the type
I
of
told
person.
you all my friends are men. So.
Okay. Like, Superhead is that type of person that he's talking about. I don't see where he can say that about you.
I was devastated
and
offended and wanted to fight him, you know, but a lot of pretty nice girls are single.
Is that just in Hollywood or out there where you are at?
No, that's the world. That's everywhere. A lot of pretty girls are single. A lot of not so pretty girls are married.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
It's reality. It's life. Just like a lot of the nice guys, they always say, "Oh, nice guys finish last." Same thing.
But yeah, I don't know. I live in a different world, I guess. I don't know. I don't see it as that. I don't see how. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're getting way off topic. I think now I feel like we're just talking like we know each other, and I'm not doing.
Sorry.
I don't feel like I'm doing anybody else service. What is the product again?
We have Team Cherie J. You can find us at teamcherryj.com, or you can always go to going2natural.com. We have hair shampoo, conditioner, hair oil. It actually makes your hair grow. I found out later because everybody used to think I had a weave. They used to be like, "What do you put on your hair?" My hairdresser thought it was cute to make my hair smell like cherries because my name is Cherie. Cherie is a natural growth agent. So if you're looking to make your hair grow, hit us up, homie. I can help you out. If you're looking to detox your body and lose about 10 to 15 pounds in about 10 days, hit me up. I can make it happen. That's on Team Cherie J and Going to Natural. And our spa is Keon for Life or Keon Spa.
Going to now this 14-day detox.
Yes.
Explain that, if you don't mind. What is that?
No problem. So basically what happened was I got pregnant and my OBGYN could not deliver my baby because she was having health problems. She confided me and she told me that she needed to lose some weight and she was struggling with hypertension, high blood pressure, and diabetes. And I said, "Dr. Canoe, let's get you right. Let's get you to lose some weight." And she said, "Girl, this has been a struggle." And she was thinking about having some surgery. And I was like, "Don't have it. Let me give me a chance to help. Let me help you." Long story short, she's lost over 100 pounds. She is fat. And her pictures are all over my page, but it all started with the detox. She didn't lose 100 pounds in 14 days, but, you know, she worked and she stuck with it. Basically, we give you education about food. And I put a meal plan together for you, and you have me, who's a nutritionist, you have a fitness trainer, and you have a life coach, Miss Toby Brown. And we're with you every day, every step of the way.
Man, you know what, Cherie? We talked about so much stuff about in the past, and I'm looking more and more at your Instagram. We have a girl that runs our Instagram page, so I'm not the one that always posts on there. So it's a lot of stuff that I miss on social media, but it's so, man, it's a lot of deep stuff about you. Man, I feel like we could just talk another 30 minutes. I promise we won't be that long. I got a couple questions though. Now, do you believe? I saw a post one day on social media, and they showed a picture of like cows, chickens, and something else, or just a bunch of animals. And then they showed fruits, vegetables, and they said, "Which one you think looks like food to you?" And then I'm looking at your page, and I see nothing but green food and stuff like that. Do you think that the way you eat can like cure like the detox? Because like I don't know if you ever heard this guy named Dr. CB. They're saying,
of course,
yeah. So they're saying like, you know, the foods we eat can cure the diseases and everything like that.
Okay, well, since they killed Dr. Sadie, let me be very careful how I word this, because I don't know if you know, but like 140 naturalists actually died last year. Holistic doctors.
No, I didn't know that.
That go against the FDA. Yeah, they're killing them right and left.
Well, wait. You used to work for the FDA.
A totally different department.
Okay.
I was a market recall auditor. I audited grocery stores and products.
Okay.
But so I don't have no inside there.
Okay.
But what I will say is your body rejuvenates itself every 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Your skin rejuvenates itself something like every 30 days. And that's one of the reasons why women have periods every 28 days. It's your cell basically detoxing a woman's body, right? And it's cleaning itself. Your cells are remade by what you eat. So if you have health problems now, you can actually rebuild your whole body in 7 years from everything that you're eating. So food is life. When you look and you go to eat something, you have to think, my body's making new cells. Do I want to make new cells with onions, or do I want to make new cells with onions? Which one would you rather look like? That's the one that you should eat.
Gotcha. And you said you went vegan
long time ago, but I backslid and I've been eating meat for years. I have a thing for tacos and hamburgers and pizza.
Yeah, that pizza. I can't get. If I could quit pizza, I'll be. Oh man, that's.
I make homemade pizza.
Really?
And so, yes, my daughter's always, Mommy, can you make pizza? And I don't just make one. I end up making like 3 or 4 because I'm making the dough. So sometimes I overmake.
Yeah.
And I end up with these really big ass pizzas, and I eat them all.
I'm trying to try to run down this stuff. Okay, I see this 1970 cosmetic. What's this all about? It's a nice
1976, I believe, right? Or is it 1978? I got hired to do a campaign for them, so I'm just kind of like, I was the spokesmodel, and I shot all these beautiful pictures.
Yes, they're very beautiful, sexy pictures.
Thank you.
And you were on Eve. I forgot about that. I'm looking at your Wikipedia. I'm looking at the. I forgot about that episode. What was that like working on the Eve show?
Once again, it was one of my uncle's shows.
Oh,
and
wow.
They actually, I was a replacement. I auditioned, and he did not hire me. One of the other producers hired me, and when I got to work, he laughed. I was replacing somebody that they had originally hired, and it was kind of like a last-minute audition in a pinch. It was fun. Brian Hooks and I had actually worked together in the past, and Eve was signed to Aftermath, and my brother had worked on her album. Right. So it was kind of like a reunion. It was a really great week.
That's right. All right, now I'm looking at you wrote some books, and this book, CherieJ.com. This what is this book about?
Okay, there's no CherieJ.com book.
I'm sorry, TeamCherieJ.com.
TeamCherieJ.com is my nutritionist website. That's the one with all the detoxes on there.
Cherie Dresses Herself. That's the book I'm looking at.
Little Cherie Dresses Herself. It's my first. Okay, so I write adult novels, and I would be at book signings, and people would always say, "Oh, I'm going to buy this for my kid," and I'd be like, "No."
Oh, okay.
You know, when people know you from kids shows, they just associate everything with kids. So since people have said it to me so much, I was like, "All right, I have a daughter now. I get it. I see what kids like." So I wrote a book with a likeness of my daughter so that she could see herself. Little brown kids need more little brown kids to look at. And what a lot of people do is they associate being Hispanic with being Mexican. So every book that's bilingual or Hispanic has a really light-skinned person on it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole population of Black Hispanics. And so I wrote that book for us. It speaks English and Spanish. And she's a little brown girl.
You say you're black and Hispanic?
Puerto Rican. I'm black.
Really? Okay.
I'm black and Puerto Rican. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay. The Johnson name threw me off. I said.
I have my mother's last name. My mom basically fell in love with Pretty Ricky from the block and had a baby.
Yeah. Now I'm going down and seeing more pictures. I guess I'm seeing the lady that you said helped lose. Now you got this blue bikini on. This is a very sexy picture.
Thank you. I didn't even realize it was sexy when I took it.
Oh, stop it. Come on.
No, I didn't. I didn't. We were in Miami, and in Miami, they kind of showed up, and we were beachside. So I stood up against the wall and took a few pictures. And that ended up being the one that they used.
Who does the artwork, like, for your books?
Different people. A man named Eric Kirker, who was also my makeup artist, ended up doing my Peaches and Cream cover, I believe.
Where can I get this book at? Because I want to get it for my kid. Little Cherie dresses herself. I want to get this.
Oh, you can find that. I believe it's on Team Cherie J, or you can hit me up, and I'm ghetto. I'll send you my PayPal link or my Cash App or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy one. This is nice. I like this.
Oh, thank you. You have little ones.
Yeah, I got a 8-year-old daughter. I got a 6-year-old son, and I've got a 4-year-old son.
Oh, that is so awesome. See, okay, with me being a homeschool mom, I've learned how to put units together for books. So one of the things that I want to do and I want to sell, it might be on Advice from My Sisters. That's my other site. Advice from My Sisters is kind of like my diary that I'm sharing with the world. I write my little diary entries, and it's my way of letting the world in on who Cherie is on my own accord. So Advice from My Sisters is going to have a shop, and what I want to do is I want to put a school unit together for kids so they can learn actually using my books.
And I swear, this is the best interview I've done this year. I hate to say that because I've had a lot of people on this year, but I've never kept nobody on this long. I thank you for staying on this long. And I haven't even, and I got it because you're on Inside the Cave, and you are our cave crush of the week. I have to ask you.
Thank you for having me.
I have to ask you these cave crush questions, and you can refuse. You can refuse to say nope. I'm not going to answer. But I have to ask. This the job I have is doing this, being a host here. I have to ask you these cave crush questions. So, heels on or heels off? And by the way, they look good on.
Heels on.
Nice. Thank. One of my co-hosts is listening on right now. He's not able to talk, but he's listening on. But all right, cool. Hair up or hair down?
Can we start up and then work our way with it down?
Sure. All right, cool. All right, let's see. What's the next one? To the side or take them all the way off?
I like public, so I say to the side.
Oh man, I told you this is the best interview I've done.
I say keep it fun.
Yes, this is the best interview I've done. Okay. Thongs or boy shorts?
Thongs.
Nice. All right, you passed with an A. Yes, you got 4 for 4. I feel like I can have you back on because I feel like there's so much more that I didn't even get a chance, because you like really threw me off with the R. Kelly stuff.
I'm sorry.
No, not in a bad way. Like I'm talking about, like I wasn't expecting to get that. Like I had no idea that you knew that Aaliyah was your friend. I had no idea. Wow.
Yeah, really sweet girl.
That's crazy. Give everybody your social media because your Instagram page is lit. I like it. It's actually informative.
Thank you. And it's really me. Nobody else is posting for me. It's at Cherie Johnson, CHERIE Johnson 75. If the 75 isn't behind my name, it ain't me.
It ain't you.
Okay.
And we're gonna. Oh, okay. Cherie and Punky, or Max and Laura?
Oh shit! What kind of question is that?
I mean, what's the better dynamic?
Okay. What are we trying to do? I'd say Punky Power. Punky Power all day.
You and Laura got into some Max. Since I'm saying you and Laura, Max and Laura got into some shit though. Like that was.
They did. That's why I'm trying to ask. What are the dynamics? Like, are we adults or are we kid mischief? Because there's different dynamics. Like, am I robbing a bank or am I in the bedroom?
Ah, okay. In the bedroom.
Oh well, then it's Laura and Maxine all day.
Oh yeah, all day. Yeah, I know that's the way I would want it. This is good.
But if I'm gonna set it off though, and we robbing a bank, it's Punky and Cherie.
Yeah. She was crazy. She was off the chain. She was
about it.
How is she now?
She's awesome.
Yeah.
I always thought that I was a hippie and I loved everybody, but I've never known anybody in life who's just free. She's the most loving, sweet, happy person I've ever met in my life.
Nice. Man, thanks. This is, like I said, this is like the best interview I've had. Like, you really took me from 1983 to 98 to now. Like, you really, this has been dope. I hate to keep holding you on like this.
Well, we grew up together. The least I could do is, catch up with an old friend and let him know what's been going on.
For real. That's what it feels like. I don't know. Like, let me ask you this. I don't have to even put this on the show. What is it like for you? I've been interviewed once, and I don't even know what this person was like. What the fuck you want to interview me for? But somehow I got interviewed before, and I thought it was stupid. What is it like for you being interviewed? Because I've seen some other interviews you've done before, and I don't remember you talking about all this. You talked with me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just good that I'm able to get all this out of you. But what is it like for you to be interviewed? Like, what is it like?
It's nice when somebody cares about what you're doing now and not just what you did 30 years ago.
Okay.
And it's nice when somebody talks to you like you're a human.
Okay.
Interviews, I guess, I want to say I'm kind of used to them, and most people don't care about you. Honestly, they don't care about how you feel as a person. They just want to know about the character. And I appreciate the fact that you took the time to talk to Cherie and you didn't talk to Maxine or Punky's friend Cherie.
Yeah. I felt like I did a lot. I think I felt like I stayed in both lanes though. Cause I mean, you kind of led, I ain't gonna lie, you kind of like led this interview. Like everything I had was, we didn't stay on that topic.
Sorry.
No, that's perfect. Like I didn't know what to expect. Cause like, I'm just a fan, man. I'm just a fan. Like I wasn't expecting, but I just want to tell you, I really do appreciate this. Like, I don't think I've ever been around someone that was this open. Like, do you ever feel like an interview is like someone like invading your space? Like sometimes I felt like that, like I was invading you.
No,
okay.
because I don't care. Okay. I've lived my whole life in front of the world, and I'll say a lot of shit. Even when I go, I'm not going to tell the name, give you hints to who it is, because I don't really give a fuck. If you want to know the truth. And I think some people are like, they try to keep you didn't ask me about my family. And that's kind of where my limits go.
Okay.
My kid's not on social media. Nobody knows anything about my family because my family didn't decide to live this life. I did.
Mm-hmm.
And so as long as we're talking about me, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about somebody that I love, that's when I shut down.
Right. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel about social media. I don't put my kids, I think I can't control their grandparents do, but I don't put my kids all on social media. I don't know. I just feel weird about it. Like, especially, you saw what happened to Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade this week?
No.
That's terrible.
No,
like, she had like 17 miscarriages, so she had a surrogate. And people were just ripping her because she was in the hospital room holding her baby with the gown on. They're like, you didn't even deliver the baby.
You know what? I did see a picture and I just wrote, oh my God, we're both mommies now. Congratulations on your new chapter and your new beginning. But social media is brutal, and they don't care about those children, and they're really mean. I commend Beyonce because she's such a big person.
Yeah.
I have cussed so many people out about her child that I couldn't imagine putting my child on the chopping block and people trying to say, because I'll fight you.
Right.
Like, we will look up your IP address and you'll fuck around and walk out the house in the morning and I'll be standing here. That's the difference between me and Beyonce.
Right.
So I commend her for really being a sweet soul.
Yeah. And you too.
Because I'm too regular.
Yeah, you're a sweet soul too. I mean, just this alone today, you're a sweet soul. This is, wow.
Thank you, but you heard me get ghetto. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit regular.
I wouldn't expect nothing less. I mean, you say you lived up the street from Mr. Marcus.
Nice dude, really, really nice guy.
I met him last year. Actually, one of my guys who was in the music business. He said he used to. I don't know, but he said he used to manage Mr. Marcus. I was like, all right. But anyway, I met him last year, and he was a cool dude, you know. And
I had no idea what he did when I met him.
Get out of here! How you? Oh well.
No.
Okay.
They took me home, and fucking Darius once again was like, "Do you know who that is?" I was like, "No, he's cute though." Darius was like, "No, dog, no." Big lie.
So when you found out who he was, what were you thinking? Like,
I was like, "Oh shit! Thank you, D. Thank you for putting me up on game because my lame ass had no idea."
Oh, that's crazy. I thought every girl knew who Mr. Marcus was, though. Even if you don't watch porn, you heard of Mr. Marcus.
Yeah, I did. I don't know. I didn't know. I was young. I don't know.
What did he tell you his name?
He had on a...
Did he just say Marcus? Okay.
Yeah, he said Marcus. I mean, I had a thing for dudes with hats on. I didn't know.
Oh, that's crazy.
Thank God for Darius. He snatched me up real quick and was like, "Bro, let me talk to you for a minute." I was like, "Wait."
So you and Darius were the close, like, I hear you say him a lot. You guys were pretty close then, huh?
Darius and I were very close, and so were Sean and I. Sean is my diary. Sean has always been very level-headed and just like an old soul, but I was like a firecracker, and I had to come back and tell him everything I did.
Nice.
And he just shook his head like, "Oh my God, this fucking girl." He still shakes his head like, "Oh my God, this fucking girl."
If they did ever bring back Family Matters, and this is my last question, I will not bother you. I know you're a mother, you have to get back and do your thing. But if they did bring back Family Matters, how would you think they would film it, or how would you think they would do it? Because like everything is so different now.
I have no idea. I never even thought about it, honestly.
Oh.
I don't know.
Because could you see them still doing it in front of a live audience? Do they even still do TV shows like that now? I don't even know.
I don't really know either.
I don't watch TV.
I don't know, but I think it would be cool if they did, because there's some... Yeah, I think they do. I do think because I believe my brother is a cameraman on Fuller House, and I believe they have audiences. So yeah, they do have live audiences. I wish that they would, because there's an energy that the audience brings.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I told you that was my last question. You told me about your uncle, who is above every single black show ever. Who is this brother of yours? Your brother said this brother of yours is pretty big time too, huh? What's your brother's name? My brother's gangster. My brother works in the camera department, and he's worked on some awesome things like the Tuskegee Airmen is one of my favorite things he ever did, because my mother has a picture of him suspended outside of a helicopter, actually shooting the planes. How old is your brother?
By. Oh God, how old am I? I am going to be 43 next week. He's 44 for traffic or something.
Really?
He's 49.
Okay. So was he in the business longer than you? He got in before you?
No, he came in after college.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah, after he graduated college, he started working on TV. He actually was one of the cameramen at one point of Family Matters.
Nice. And you said because I remember you said Barry was your brother's godfather or something like that?
A different one. My brother Alon.
Okay.
He's his godfather.
So I always thought you were an only child, but I guess that's the TVU. But you have
my sperm donor. I'm my mother's only child. My sperm donor spread love around.
Oh, okay, got you. Now I'm getting into your business. I can stop.
I don't care. Yeah. It's okay. It's not a secret.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. Once again, thank you so much, Cherie Johnson, for going inside the cave. This is probably the best interview I've done all year. I don't think this will be the last time. This won't be the last time I'll be talking with you because I want to learn more about your products because it's a whole. I don't want to get too much into it because we'll be talking for another hour. But I'm very interested in your products though because there's a lot of people that I know, including myself, that can benefit from this natural living. That because the environment and food is killing so many people, man. It's young
everything.
People. And you know what's crazy? I hate to keep talking, but you know what's crazy? Like to see young people, like, I don't know what it is. Like now all of a sudden I see like people in their 20s dying from cancer.
Oh my God. Are you kidding? Kim Porter died today.
Today, exactly.
Puffy's ex-wife, they said she went into cardiac arrest or had pneumonia. Like that, to me, is heartbreaking. That's me in a couple of years. She was young and beautiful and healthy and vibrant. How does that happen?
Yeah, what did they say? They said it was a pneumonia, right?
They said pneumonia, but then when the 911 distress call came in, they said maybe cardiac arrest. They don't really know, but I'm mortified for her children. Oh yeah, no. So many. My heart hurts for her kids. Yeah, man. There's no coming back from that. That is the worst. That is the worst. And I feel bad for Puff because I know it's so dope to see, like, you know, in today's world, like, you know, the media portrays everything like from us as fans. All we hear is that he's paying $250,000 a month in child support and all this stuff. But what's so dope about him is that he never spoke negative about the mother of his children. He never. Yeah. So I felt like we knew him. You know what I'm saying? We felt like when I heard that she died, like I felt like we knew her. You know what I'm saying? Right. He spoke so positive about her. And I think that's dope for a man that may not even be with her to always speak and say, and like he would go on her social media while he was with Cassie and say, yo, I love you. You know, I think that's dope. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for him. That's how more daddies need to be. Because you're the example for your little girls. So what better example can you give your daughters by loving their mother? Yeah, and the boys too. Teach your sons how to act. Yeah, teach your sons how to act. Cherie Johnson, I thank you so much. And this, you said we homies, so I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna be, you know, I'm probably gonna have you on again to talk some more stuff. Thank you. Really appreciate. Thank you. I'd love to come back inside the cave. Yeah, man. I can't. Well, you're not. All right. Once again, thank you to Cherie Johnson and everybody for listening. This was a great interview, and she's more than welcome to come on again. And hey, she's actually a fan of the show. She likes us. She's cool. Just a great guest, man. Thank you once again to Cherie Johnson for coming on Inside the Cave. Everybody have a happy holidays. Y'all got anything for Big Dawg gets us out of here? Yeah. To the people in California with the wildfires, y'all take care of each other out there. Be safe. Now, normally St. Andrew says some kind words before Big Dawg closes us out. Cat, we'll let you say some kind words before Big Dawg closes us out. Thanksgiving is about being thankful. And being thankful is just honestly remembering those people and those opportunities and those times and understanding that it wasn't you, it was something else. So be thankful this year for Thanksgiving. Be thankful for the people around you.
Be thankful for the opportunity you got to share with people who aren't here with you this Thanksgiving. And be thankful for the people you haven't met yet that will be with you in other Thanksgivings.
Well, on that note, we want to thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all next week.
Inside the Cave.
You did say you wanted to be in, right?
Thought-provoking ignorance with special guests and cave crushers. Inside the Cave. Inside the Cave. 3 Lee Films.
You did say you wanted to be in, right?